Speaking of what people got, IGN had some balls this week. They had some balls this week. They wanted to put out their top 10 games of all time. So we're going to give our top 10. But first, we got to glance at IGN's as a baseline. I actually haven't seen their top 10. I've just seen people shit talking it all week, which happens because no one disagrees. Like, no one agrees.
I also didn't see it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it either. Was it Logan Plant again?
It might have been. That could be the problem. That might be the issue. Maybe it's a Logan Plant article. We'll see. Yeah. So you see the top 10 Legend of Zelda games of all time. They posted that this week for the 40th anniversary. And it is by the IGN staff. So this would suggest they pulled the staff.
He's in there somewhere, probably.
Yeah. He's probably one of the ones they pulled. Yeah. But they probably pulled the whole staff and then combined them all together to try to come up with the list. I've done this before when I worked at Zelda Inform. We came up with the top 10. And literally everyone submitted their own top 10. And then there was a point system based on where you put games. And then, there's no perfect way to really put it all together, but you try to make it work. So this is a collab effort from the whole team or whatever team bothered to answer. So Pierre Snyder probably put his input in. Logan Plant definitely put his in. And others. So number 10, they got Twilight Princess. Made the top 10. So,
that's gonna draw flies.
Yeah, that might have drawn some of the ire. We'll see. And they do at least give some reasons. So I got to give them credit. We're not going to spend the time to go over all their context because we have our own list to get through. But they do at least give some reasons for it. And it looks like Kat Bailey wrote the reason for Twilight Princess. So she might be one of the main reasons it made the top 10. Then you got the original Zelda at 9.
Ballsy right there.
Yeah, this one I think might have pissed some people off too, because I think a lot of people think a huge chunk of the series is better than the original game. But there is something to be said for the game that started it all. Without it,
in a way, yeah, it's still
without it, none of the rest are there. And Brendan Graber wrote the section for that one. Then you see A Link Between Worlds coming in at 8, and the section for this one was written by again Kat Bailey. She was the one who compiled everything too. Link's Awakening coming in at number 7. However, this game has been remade, guys, on Switch, and had a remastering of sorts on Game Boy Color, where they had the color dungeon in DX back then. Yeah.
DX.
And that one's written by Jada Griffin, the section for that one. They have Wind Waker at 6. All right. Now we get to the top 5. This is usually where the controversy always happens, is in the top 5. Where people always get pissed. So Jonathan Dornbush wrote that part. We got Majora's Mask at 5.
Nice.
All right.
I'm not upset with that.
Yep. You got Jada Griffin wrote that section. Ocarina of Time at 4. That might have pissed some people off.
Definitely.
A lot of people have Ocarina of Time at number 1.
Personally, it's higher for me.
Yeah. And seeing it not in the top 3 might hurt some people. So you don't want to see my list later. That one's written by Pierre Snyder, of course. No surprise there. Good old Pierre, of course, is going to write the Ocarina of Time section. Yeah. Anyone who enjoyed IGN back in the day, you know how much he loves this game. So, of course.
I love Pierre.
He wanted to write that. I have a lot of respect for Pierre.
Yeah.
All right, Link to the Past.
This is a travesty.
At number 3.
I'm insulted.
It's getting so bad. Written by Brendan Graber.
You got that instruction manual art right there. Beautiful.
Yeah.
True.
They were talking about earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish they did this stuff though. At least
really
an instruction manual. Just have it be art. Just put like 4 pages of art.
Hey, not only that,
really
but
cool
smelling it.
Right. Really cool to see the crossover with Batman as well, getting Clayface.
Right.
And Zelda was really
classic. Of course.
And I like that recommended article to me is Crimson Desert, because I am really excited for that game. Moving on. And by the way, a lot of people are starting to get excited for this game because they're starting to realize that like they're doing all the things that people claim they want video games to do.
Yeah, I see that too.
I've seen a lot of people talk about, what do you mean they're not doing this? They're not doing that. Wait, what? They're just making an old school video game? Yeah. Yeah.
And so many people have questioned the reality of this game.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
Like if it's even real. I'm like, yeah, I played it. What are you talking
I literally
about?
played it. Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, if they wouldn't have cut us off, we could have kept going. That world's fucking massive.
Yes.
It is huge.
Yes.
It is a game that's going to take thousands of hours for anyone who gets into it. It is a massive game. I don't know if you just want to power through the story, if it takes a while. That I have no idea, because we didn't get to do a lot of the quests, so I'm not really sure how that's structured. outside of the few that we got to do in the demo. But all right, Breath of the Wild at 2.
Okay.
All right, and that was with my Tom Marks. And you see Tears of the Kingdom at 1. Again, that one was, I guess, written by everyone. There's no author on that section. So, wait, no, maybe it comes on here. No, there's nothing else. So that was their list. And look, personally, I don't actually think it's that bad of a list. I just, it's their opinion. It's a cumulative list of a bunch of people. Yeah. So I don't really get too angry usually about people's top 10s because it's all personal. And who am I to tell them what to enjoy over others?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. I care less.
I highly disagree. A Link to the Past should be everybody's number one. If it's not, I understand, but you're wrong.
I can't finish that game.
I hate my list as well, Joycey. All right.
You know what, Nate? You hush. Greek Apprentice. Now, girl, I thought we was vibing like low key as the only girl, and you telling me you didn't finish A Link to the Past.
When I get to my top 10, there's 3 major games that I have to like kind of explain why they're not on the list.
Yeah, I'm gonna need an explanation for A Link to the Past.
So the question I have for you guys is, because I know my list is gonna piss people off the most. So do I go first or do I go last?
Go first.
Well, wait. Let's all go around the room first, though, and say kind of our thoughts on their list, on the IGN one.
I'm cool with it.
You're cool with it?
Yeah. Look, again, it's each their own, right?
Yeah.
This is what you guys like the best. Who am I to say any different? Yeah, that's great. That's fine.
At least they cared enough to make a list.
Yeah, I like that they do it because it creates conversation.
Yeah, there's a huge website, and Nintendo's probably doing nothing for Zelda this week. So like, this is kind of neat to have like the biggest media website. At least draw attention back to the Zelda series during the anniversary.
Yeah, I like it. It's the list doesn't match my personal list at all. Both in its arrangement of titles or even titles that may be in it or may not be in it. But again, like you guys said, these are other people's opinions, and each game means something different to, each and every one of us, or the time that we played it. I have a friend who one of their favorite games of all time is Persona 4, and it will probably always be in their top because it was at a time where they had a lot of medical stuff. They were battling cancer, and they had that game on their their was it Vita or PSP? I forget that Persona 4. I can't remember, but they had the portable version, Golden, and they played through it at a really tough time in their life. Won that battle, but Persona 4 will always be a very special title to them, no matter what. Game. So
that's fair.
Timing and where you are in your life can play a really huge role on how you feel about certain experiences.
Sometimes it's when you got into the series,
Yep.
Because sometimes you hold that game in a much higher regard. Eric, thoughts on the IGN list?
I mean, as you said, it's their list. Who am I to say they're wrong?
I was hoping the list just really offended Eric. He got pissed.
Sucks major balls.
You know what
absolutely, it's trash. There you go.
You know what I wish they would have did with this list if they were doing anything different? I would have liked to see a panel gotten together and actually debate it on a show to come up with this list. And like I thought about like us doing it for this show, but I was like, nah, it'll take way too long. But we could always plan it for the future to try to like actually debate and argue and see if we can come to. We're never going to agree on the exact order because we have our personal order, but it come to we're okay with that game being there, even if we don't think it should be.
The best part's the arguing, though. That's going to be the most like people getting heated because the fact of the matter is we're all very passionate about video games. We're all very passionate about the series. So like getting pissed that our like a game that means so much to us is getting knocked by everyone else on the panel.
And you know why I know that's a really great idea? Because Kind of Funny Games has done it on making some lists and done huge, like 3-hour, 4-hour debates. And it was highly entertaining watching how passionate they all were for certain games. They wanted to be there. And others say, fuck that game. It's a piece of shit. I'm like, dude, this is fucking great.
Well, guys, we kind of had a moment like that on the podcast. We did a ranking, and I got super heated, and you were laughing, Nate, and everyone was eating it up. It was when you ranked the Bravely Default remaster for. So do you remember this? Do you guys remember this? And then you were putting like ranking hype for like Fortnite above it, and like all the like that was that really lame survival kids or whatever it was called. Yeah. You ranked above Bravely Default remaster. I'm like, dude, this is absolute bullshit.
New experiences over old, baby. I'm consistent. New over old. Fortnite, by the way, only ranks so high because I make sure my wife didn't kill me. Because she loves Fortnite, so like, of course, the funny thing is she loves it for the exploration. She doesn't actually like shooting people. So when people attack her, then she's like, "All right, fuck you." And then she goes and takes. She's always once fired upon, it's over.
Nice.
Anyways, she gets annoyed. She plays with me. She's like, "Why are you running and shooting that person?" I'm like, "Honey, that's what you're supposed to do in this game."
That's what the game is.
No. You only shoot if they shoot you first. I'm like, they're shooting you first because we're trying to be the last to survive. Yeah, we can just survive. We'll just build a fort over here and chill. You can build a fort. I'm gonna go kill some people.
In the game.
Dude, she would get so mad at me. So you're halfway across the map. Don't worry, I'll hop in a car. I'll be at your fort in a moment. Whoops, I ran through your fort. My bad.
That is so something my husband would do.
Right now, I'm running at like 10 FPS. Give me a break. Anyways. All right, cool. So I'll do my top 10 first for Zelda. I'll start at number 10. Spirit Tracks. I really enjoy the game. The funny thing is I hate the game before it. And hate might be a strong word, but we always talk about on these lists, like, when you get to the bottom, it's like, it's just your least favorite. No, I wish Phantom Hourglass just didn't exist. Wow. I legitimately do not like that game. I think it's a trash game.
I really liked the character.
A couple of the boss fights are actually really, really fun. But a lot of
what was this guy's name?
Which one?
He's one of the best sidekicks ever in the series.
Yeah, I forget his name. The guy.
He's on the cover. I always forget his name.
Lineback.
Yeah. I like that dude.
Good art.
That was
good
a memorable NPC.
Yeah. He's an S tier companion for the series.
Yeah.
But I do agree with Nate.
He's only S tier because Tingle has never been allowed to be the permanent companion, which missed opportunity.
I actually agree with that. I do agree with that.
Could be the next game. We'll see. But yeah, Spirit Tracks basically fixed everything I did not like about Phantom Hourglass, and then also gave so much new as well. I remember everyone being mad about the train, and the train actually ended up being super fucking fun. Really, really enjoyed that game a ton. One of my favorite handheld Zeldas.
Super good music.
Oh, the music. That Malladus theme at the end. The Malladus theme, and then when all the sages come back with the instruments, and
Nate, I got to be real, man. I really like this pick for number 10. I actually really like this. I'm a big Spirit Tracks fan myself.
I think people don't talk about it enough.
I think I've always loved trains. I think the train setting is just a really cool setting in general. I love like JRPGs where there's like a train heist or like a murder mystery. Anytime there's even Nate, you're a WoW player. There's a raid that takes place on a train. Like that sort of thing is super cool to me. Mm-hmm. And I also like I've enjoyed every entry in the Zelda series, but if I had to pick my least favorite, it's probably Phantom Hourglass. So I don't hate the game, but I think it's my one of my least favorites, if not my least favorite.
What about crossbow training?
I actually like crossbow training more.
But I do like crossbow training better.
Yeah. Wow. There's one reason alone.
That's wild.
I'll say why, and I don't know if this is it for you, Nate, but for me, this just really killed it, and they fixed it in Spirit Tracks.
Temple of the
Ocean. In Phantom Hourglass, you check off something in the story, you go back to the main dungeon, and you complete the first floor, and you're timed. And then when you complete that first floor, you leave, you go do the next story bit, you come back. Well, you have to redo the first floor that you already beat. and do the second floor in a time limit. And then you leave, and then you come back. Oh, you got to start the first floor again. You got to redo all those puzzles, all those fights, and you got to redo all the second floor again. And you do the third floor for the first time. Then you leave. Oh, you're back at the first. I just like that level of repetition. To me, felt like, people complain about padding and Wind Waker or Twilight Princess with like the tier collecting. To me, that really felt like padding, like forcing me to do the same floors of a dungeon a dozen times with the time limit. To me, I personally didn't care for. I love the dual screen, like the boss fights I thought were fantastic. The music is great, but that one thing just really moved that game down
horrible
for me.
Absolutely horrible.
But I still like it. I don't dislike it. It's just
I dislike Hourglass. Literally, Temple of the Ocean King alone makes me never want to touch that game again. and then like it's funny because people are like, really, it's your worst? What about Triforce Heroes? Yeah, I actually like Triforce Heroes. Four Swords Adventures. Yeah, Four Swords Adventures. I like that game. Oh, Link's Cross Country. Yeah, I like Link's Cross. Oh, Cadence of Hyrule. Yeah. CDI games. Okay. Well, CDI games are below.
We don't talk about the CDI games.
Wouldn't it be funny
Even the creators don't acknowledge them.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be funny if I had one on my list? Speaking of number 9, Zelda's Adventure. No, I don't have one. So no, number 9. This is where the next two picks are where people sometimes get a little upset, and my list has changed a lot over the years. My Spirit Tracks used to be in my top 5, but like as time goes on and you reflect on things, you start to realize, okay, maybe I didn't enjoy it as much as I once did. Like it didn't hold up as well over time. So Spirit Tracks kind of started dropping down the list. And ironically, the same thing happened for me with a former top 5 Zelda game for me, and that is Wind Waker at number 9. And I'm not even counting like the HD one where they fixed some stuff, because they got rid of the Tingle Quest, and that alone is an insult of all insults. That Tingle Tuner quest is one of the best quests in Zelda. And I know not everyone got to experience it because it required the GBA thing and all that, but it's really fucking good. And Tingle gets a bad rap because most people just haven't actually played anything that involves story with him. He's got a very fascinating story, not just in Wind Waker, but even in the Tingle games. People would actually probably sympathize with him a lot. He actually would connect, I think, with our real life situations if people actually played these things. But they don't. They just view him as this goofy, quirky 30-something wearing tights, making maps. But there's a reason he's that way. Go play the Tingle games to find out. That said, Wind Waker, it's just beautiful game. Obviously, one of the biggest games to hold up from a visual perspective, even the original release on GameCube. Love so much about it. The combat, and how like whimsical and just floaty it kind of is. Which is, they ended up bringing that over to Smash Bros. When they brought Toon Link in. Love the story. The Puppet Ganon stuff was really cool towards the end. But when you have things like the Triforce Quest, that was literally padding, because they cut out content, as we found out in interviews and stuff like that. Like there was just literally content they cut out for time reasons, and they replaced it with that shitty thing, which they made a little better in the HD version, but still, it's still there. It's still part of the game. It's such an important game to my childhood. I don't think being in the top 10, even at number 9, any Zelda game that makes my top 10 is special, because this series is special to me. And we're up to like, how many games are we up to? Like 19, 20? You call them spinoffs, we're like at 30.
21.
Yeah. You call them spinoffs, we're even higher. So being my top 10, that's already my top 1/3 of any Zelda experience I've ever had. So it's already a big deal to be up here, but it did drop out of my top 5 over time after reflecting on things. But hey, at number 9, I enjoy it more than Spirit Tracks. Spirit Tracks doesn't exist without it. At number 8, Twilight Princess. Love Twilight Princess. Probably the best dungeons in the series. And maybe some of the most epic setup boss fights that are actually really easy. Like, it's one of the weirdest things. Like, it's these epic boss fight. Like, it's just these behemoths. So, dude, it feels like I'm about to play Shadow of the Colossus, baby. And then it's like the fucking easiest boss I've ever done.
Yeah.
that's the thing that like kind of knocks it down is like, dude, the dungeons are so great. And even like the mini boss fights are like, dude, these are actually really cool. Then you get to the main boss fight, I'm like, dude, the mini boss was harder. What the fuck? So epic. And then you're so easy. Why? You're supposed to be the hardest thing in the dungeon. I had a harder time figuring out how to change the water level in the last room. What the fuck is this? Like, so that's the thing is like best dungeons in it. Love Ilia. Love the story of the Twilight Realm and Midna and all that. It is, you know, I still get little tear jerks during the Midna's Lament section when she basically was almost dead. And then it felt like Zelda sacrificed herself in that moment. And then obviously when she breaks the mirror at the end, like such an emotional connection. One of the better stories in Zelda to be able to do that. That is until other things that also make it not on the list when it used to be in my top 5. I don't think Ganondorf should have been in this game. I think it was a mistake. Zant was built up pretty fucking badass. And then suddenly he's a pansy and Ganondorf's the real bad guy, except Ganondorf's easier than Zant. Again, keeping that theme of you get to the big baddie and they're actually a joke. But Zant wasn't a joke. We tried to face Zant. Zant practically killed us. Ganondorf's never come close to doing that to me. And now Zant's just like this crazy psycho babbling kid who was just jealous. Like, this is stupid. He was a badass. You fucking ruined the character of Zant. Even the Zant boss fight. Look, that boss fight was way better than the final fight with Ganondorf.
Hey,
So
Nate,
I don't know. So
I was gonna say real quick, Xant is low key like the Khaleesi.
yes.
Because it's so unfair because I'm ready for Xant to literally blow up Hyrule in some very quirky and wild, crazy fashion or something. And it's Ganon. And I like Ganon, but I was like, why are you in me and Xant's business right now? Anyway, I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's a whole thing. But no, I still really enjoy the game because I think it has the best dungeons in terms of like getting to that final boss. And even when you first get into the boss fight, how epic it feels. Like it's just a really, really good for that. Really good storytelling. So it is in my top 10, but it is dropped down just because I have more nitpicks about the game than I used to back in the day. The more that I played it and thought about it since then, it's like, okay, all right, I can't really put this in my top 5 because I got too many easy complaints about things that do actually legitimately bug me every time I boot up the game. Like I can't not think about it. At number 7, I got A Link Between Worlds. This is where I have a controversial stance. I don't really have any specific flaws with this game necessarily. But this is like one of those games where this spot used to be A Link to the Past. I just like A Link Between Worlds more. So A Link Between Worlds gets here at number 7. Again, I can't even think of like any flaws that I don't like about the game. But it's also just like I just don't enjoy the top downs typically as much. So
did you say this gets in over A Link to the Past?
Yep.
So you don't have A Link to the Past in your top 10?
Nope.
What?
At least
You're
it
crazy,
won't be
man.
just me.
You're crazy. But hey, this is your list.
It is.
This is interesting.
Despite how terrible it is.
This is interesting.
Number 6.
I'm kidding.
Number
I'm
6.
kidding, Nate. I love you.
This is why Vinny still has your Zelda card.
No, it's because I forgot the ending. You can't get my
That's
Zelda
it.
card because you can't take someone's Zelda card for liking other Zelda games over other Zelda games. That's just bias at that point. Skyward Sword.
That's not true, though.
It is true. We're all allowed to like
No,
games
it's
for different
not.
reasons. Yes, it is.
Link to the Past is number 1. That's just, I don't make the rules. That's just the way it is.
Well, there's no rules for what I like. So Skyward Sword at number 6.
That's a good one.
Skyward Sword I actually love. I love this game a lot. It's always kind of, ever since I played it on Wii, it's always been kind of up here, bouncing between my top 5 and just out of my top 5. If you like dungeons, that's all the game is. It's nothing but dungeons all the time. Yeah, there's flaws, of course. Like all the stuff up in the sky is kind of half baked. You can kind of see where they had this idea, and they talked about in interviews like it was supposed to be an open world game, and you could see some remnants where they probably meant for it to be, but what they wanted to do, we just didn't really have the power to do what their full vision was. So they kind of settled on making all the sections like just really, really long dungeons before the dungeon. So there was like some missed opportunity there.
This list is so whack, dude.
However, Skyward Sword has number one, fun fact, it had the first orchestrated soundtrack ever in Zelda. Number two, it has the best story, even still today, in any Zelda game. There is not a story better than it. It might have the most, you know how like a not Phantom Hourglass or Temple of the Ocean King. Well, one thing I don't like about this game is how many times you got to fight that big fucking foot piece of shit.
Demise.
The avocado with toes.
Like the Demise fight was fun. Just before you got to that point, how many times you had to repeat that fight? And it's like, oh, it's a little harder every time. I'm like, no, dude, this is just as easy as the fucking first time I did it. Anyways, that part
More
I didn't
annoying
like.
each
That part
time.
wasn't like that part didn't take very long. The Temple of the Ocean King legitimately ate fucking time for me. Like that little, it was just a kind of a minor annoyance that I had to redo that fight.
I'm so annoyed by this. Sorry, I actually really like Skyward Sword, but let's be real. Skyward Sword has the worst mechanic ever introduced in a Zelda game, period.
What's that?
Dowsing. The metal detector with the sword to find keys on every map. It is literally, it's like, oh, what if instead of exploration and puzzle solving, we just have them use a metal detector in every map? I'm sorry, dowsing is the one thing. Like I agree. I think it has some of the most exceptional. And spoiler alert, Skyward Sword's on my list. I just like, you have to mention that flaw because it's literally the worst mechanic ever.
It's not a flaw because it's optional. It's a tool you don't have to use. You can literally beat the game outside of when you first get it. When you first get it, they force you to use it. Then you don't have to use it after that. You know, dowsing just points you in the direction. You can still figure shit out without it. I don't need it to tell me where to go. It's like having a thing telling you where to burn the tree in The Legend of Zelda. You can still burn the tree without it telling me where that tree is. You don't need
use it either. I didn't use
dowsing is entirely optional.
Yeah.
I know the game makes you feel like it's not, but it actually is. You can literally just not use it.
I forgot about it right after, and I just didn't.
Yeah.
And probably because I was on pain meds from my I forgot about it. Didn't use it.
I busted it out like one time after they gave it to me originally, because like they make you kind of use it at first because they're teaching you how it works, and then after that you don't have to. I think I used it one time because I was getting annoyed. So I had a feeling that like I get through this certain part of the game, like God, there should have been like a heart piece or something at this point. This is weird. It's a long part of the game for me to not find a heart piece. It's fucked up. And then I use dowsing. I'm like, oh, now I feel like nope. This is like using a guide. I'm good. I don't have to. I don't need this. If I don't get it 100% the first time through, it's fine. I'm good. Anyways,
all right, well, fair enough. I don't remember it being optional, but you guys both didn't use it, so.
Yeah,
I didn't know though. Like it wasn't on purpose. I'll say that. I think I just kind of blacked how
he forgot it was a tool that he had in his arsenal. That happens sometimes. Like how many times do you forget you could use certain items you already got? Like you just fucking forget because you're so locked in. I got my sword.
I can get past it. If I got my hook shot, gate it.
Like there's times I forgot I had a boomerang until I came up to something. I'm like, oh, I can't do this without that thing. That's right. I forgot I had that thing. The same with like the beetle in Skyward Sword. Now and then I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I have this thing that I can like fly around and solve puzzles with. I totally forgot about after that first dungeon. That being said, Skyward Sword, it always bounces around here because it's got an amazing story. And to me, guys, and this is where people get usually mad, I think it has the best combat in the series. The motion control combat is fucking awesome. Anyone who bitched about it, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with you. Either you had faulty controls or you just are unwilling to read tutorials that the game shows you how to play things. Like a certain person at GameSpot that gave it a shit review and tried to say the bow and arrow doesn't work. And then I watched him try to point at the screen like Twilight Princess and click the button and shoot at the ground, not realizing it works like Wii Sports Resort, motherfucker. Watch the fucking tutorial the game gave you when you got the item. Dude, the controls were so great. The only thing I always wanted, and this was such, I knew when I beat the game, I'm like, I love these controls so much, and I want to see these expanded upon in a new game, and it's never gonna happen. I can just already tell people are gonna be mad that you can't waggle. Like you couldn't Twilight Princess.
Waggle.
People are gonna be pissed that you can't just do this and win. Like you actually have to like have skill and pay attention. And constantly have to recalibrate. No, okay. If you're being lazy, your arms are at the side, and you drew your weapon, you fucked up. All you gotta do is hit one button, and it recenters for you. It's fucking not. What the fuck are we talking about?
It was fun, yeah.
Dude, I love that combat. Like when it came back, and like I tried the controls on Skyward Sword HD on Switch. Like tried using the ones where they remapped everything to the controller. I'm like, dude, this shit fucking sucks. Fuck this, dude. Back to motion. It's like that's the only way to play this game. But
I'm
thankfully,
left-handed, so I couldn't play it.
Well, on Switch you can remap things, including the motion controls to the left hand for the sword.
I didn't know you could remap the motion controls, but that's why I was excited for the HD, because then I could play button. I was like, they flipped Twilight Princess to make it motion control. Just flip this so I can play it left-handed.
So yeah, that is Skyward Sword in a nutshell for me. I also really love just even the story. I know I talked about it, but like I really enjoy this. One of the best stories was Zelda herself, the journey she goes on. Demise, at least he's like a looming presence throughout the game, even though he's, like we know about him pretty early on, not his name. I don't know if I remember his name early on. I can't remember, but we knew about this looming presence beyond Girahim, that Girahim was trying to bring somebody back. Girahim also being one of the really cool sidekicks, one of the best sidekicks a villain's ever had in Zelda. Just a lot I love about that game. And again, there's some stuff though that I'm like, okay, yeah, in hindsight, that wasn't super great, but I love the combat in the game, and I'm really sad that we're never getting a Zelda game like that again. That being said, to the top 5. Majora's Mask at 5. Love the game. Best side quest of any Zelda ever. Is what it is. That alone already puts it up there. I basically 100% of this game again back in 2024 on live stream. Holds up to this day pretty well. I still have some of the control issues that I have with a game like Ocarina of Time because it's based on that, but they added more tools to your arsenal with the flips and all this stuff that you could do as well. But honestly, the mass transformations, really fucking cool mechanic. I wish that would come back. And just, the reward of the Fierce Deity Mask, it actually felt like a real reward. Hey, Nintendo, remember to give us real rewards for doing super tedious shit, like getting all of something? Hey, you went through the thing to get 100% all the side quests. You got a really fucking cool reward, not a piece of shit in your inventory. So like, I miss when they would actually give you something pretty badass. And yeah, does it make the final fight a joke? Of course. Do I have to use it? No. That's the point. If I want to feel like a badass, I can. If I don't, I can feel like a badass by being skillful. Either way, I like the option. It's like easy mode, but I don't have to use it. So yeah, it's great. Love Majora's Mask. Don't have a ton of complaints other than just, not as many dungeons as I would like. Game's a little bit shorter because of that. But I actually really enjoyed the time mechanics. Because the time mechanics, this is the first Zelda game, and honestly, maybe one of the only ones I played that felt like I was in a living world. Yeah, it was only 3 days, and it was a 3-day repeat, but the game felt alive. People had shit to do, regardless of what I was doing. They weren't just like, chit-chatting in the corner, and I come back and on day 2 and they're still doing the same. No, they got chores, they got tasks, and then you would do some of the side quests and some of the shit would change. They're doing different things. And you're like, oh, dude, this is sick. Zelda really hasn't had that sense. There's been some instances of it, but not like the entire game is this way. So I absolutely love that part. All right, get to number 4. I admittedly, this is a nostalgia pick. Link's Awakening. It was my first Zelda game. And when I replayed it on Switch, beat it. I think I even beat it on live stream right here on Nintendo Prime. Holds up. Even the remake does. Really enjoy it a lot. Obviously, tons of Mario references. Really, it's just such a good game. I have so much nostalgia for it. It's so hard for me to even pick out flaws. I guess the only flaw is that it's all a dream, I guess. But then that's also kind of cool that it's all a dream. Like it's like a unique thing where like it never really happened. But yeah, and this is the game that caused a lot of debate with timeline theories back in the day as well. It was a huge point of controversy because, like, well, he's still in the ocean at the end. So what game does that lead to? Yeah, there's a huge debate over that. All right. Now we get to the pick that used to be the most controversial of all time because it was number 1 before 2017. That's number 3, The Adventure of Link. Extremely underrated game. Probably the game that requires the most skill. Like, this is your get good game. Like, if you're frustrated playing this game, you just got to get good. This is your From Software style Zelda. This is
first appearance of Dark Link.
Yeah, first appearance of Dark Link, and it's pretty badass. And yeah, we all cheesed in the corner. We know. But how many people went and tried to beat him legit without cheesing?
Did you?
Yeah. I beat him without cheesing. I've only done it once. Because it's so easy to just, you get frustrated. It's so easy to go to the corner and just default win. Kind of sucks that that's a thing. Stash, I think you're muted, or your mic died or something happened.
Sorry. Yeah, I turned it off. I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah, you go to the right corner, you crouch down, and then you just swing your sword. You can never get hit, and you'll hit him.
How would I have known that as a kid? You know what I mean?
I found it up by accident. I was crouching, like he knocked me down. I fell into the corner. I crouched. I started swinging, and then I noticed something. He just swung and couldn't hit me. Wait a second. Keep doing shit. He can't hit me. So the first time I beat him was that, and then after that, I was like, okay, there's no way they intended that to be how you win this fight. That does not feel like it. So I went back and then did it again. And then I beat him one time ever, legit. Very hard fight. It is a very hard fight. One of the hardest end fights in all of Zelda, maybe the hardest. But you know, it's a very unique game, obviously, because like it combined. At that time, I was already into a little bit of top-down RPGs. I played like Mystic Quest. It's like top-down Final Fantasy stuff.
The American Final Fantasy.
Yeah, the American Final Fantasy. I love Mystic Quest. So, in hindsight, it's not the greatest game out there, but for the time, it felt great.
An intentionally easy Final Fantasy for the Americans.
Yeah. It wasn't hard. And it wasn't very long, but you know what? In today's world, I don't mind that having some games that aren't a bad deal. Nice. But yeah, no, the top-down RPG kind of world where you're walking around and running the enemies and start fights, like that was really cool. But then the fights go into this like side-scrolling thing was awesome. It's legitimately the only Zelda game we could say is an RPG. It has a full-on leveling system and experience system. It has a full-on magic system. It brought magic into the series, which we've never really seen magic fully explored since this game. We've had some magic, Ocarina of Time and all of that. We've had some magic abilities, but like this was a fully fleshed out magic system. You heal yourself with it.
You had to use it.
You had to use it to beat the game. And yeah, sure, there was some grinding to it, like there isn't any RPG. And I was used to grinding in RPGs at the time I played this game. So I really, really love The Adventure of Link. To this very day. Obviously the story is very weak because it's all in the manual. And I like the manual, but like, you read it and the story's over. Okay, cool. So now I play the game. It's not really over. You finish it in the game and you do get to kiss, at least they heavily imply you are kissing Princess Zelda at the end of the game. Technically but they don't show it, but
every time you turn that game on, you knew what the task was. Because it reminded you right when you start the game, you got to wake her up.
Yeah.
It was like a driving force the whole time.
Yep. And it does have some pretty unique aspects to the story if you read the manual. Zelda's got family, as you'll find out. They aren't just the king if you read the manual. So really, really cool. And at the time, before Skyward Sword, if you read the manual, it explained what the Legend of Zelda actually is, like the meaning of the actual legend. But that's all been retconned at this point. But at the time, that was the legend if you read the manual. Anyways, so really, really good game, really difficult game, hardest game in the series, get good game. This is the kind of shit that It has all this bad rap, and then I watch everyone praise From Software games, and I'm like, where the fuck were you people back in the day? That's what this game was. This is 2D From Software. You guys would love this shit. You know, it was the black sheep for so long, but it never should have been. It never should have been.
Simon's Quest, Castlevania 2, everyone, like the same people that hated Zelda 2, hated Simon's Quest, vice versa. Same thing. Yeah.
No, it was just very hard. It's a hard game.
Like it's too cryptic. It's like, no, dude, that's the design.
I don't know if I'm the only person that has it on my list, but I'm probably the only person with it in my top 3. All right. Get to the top 2. This shouldn't really shock anyone if you follow my channel. Number 2 is Breath of the Wild. I don't think much needs to really be said at this point that hasn't been said. Yeah, not a perfect Zelda game. There is no perfect Zelda game, but there is something to be said about the game that brought true exploration back that had been missing from Zelda for a while. And honestly, it's infinitely replayable to me. Other Zelda games really aren't because they're linear. And frankly, when it's linear, I know everything that's going to happen. I know the order it's going to happen in. In Zelda Breath of the Wild, every time I boot it up, I can go in a different direction every time. And I love that. That's awesome. Yeah, you might end up at the same endpoint, of course. Or maybe not. Maybe I want to go straight to Ganondorf. Make it as hard as possible. You can do that. It's fun. That doesn't change how easy the final form is, but it's the victory lap. The victory lap, as they say. I like the victory lap to have a bit more challenge. And that's why Tears of the Kingdom is number 1. Because the victory lap did have more challenge and was more fun. Still wasn't hard, but it was more fun. It was a more fitting end because the beast Ganon in Breath of the Wild didn't really feel like a desperation move. It's just who Ganon is. He was a pig beast. That's who he's always been. That is his true form. The move in Tears of the Kingdom was desperation. It was a desperation move, and we all knew, because Zelda did it prior in the game, that you don't really know what's going to happen when you make that move. And that move he thought would make him a badass. It didn't really work out because there was another flying dragon around that has already been doing this for thousands of years. So it felt like a more appropriate victory lap just because, yeah, while not being super difficult, it was harder, but also felt appropriate because it was a desperation move. It was not, I'm just powering up to my true form. No, your true form is not a fucking dragon. So I liked that victory lap more. But more than that, Tears of the Kingdom, I just like better than Breath of the Wild. It's just, as people say, for the reasons that people don't like the game, it's just more Breath of the Wild. Yeah. Well, 1, Breath of the Wild is fucking amazing. 2, it's more Breath of the Wild, but better. More to do, more stuff, more towns, more side quests, actual NPCs that interact with you and do shit throughout the game. The abilities are fucking amazing. The next open world Zelda game, it's got caves and stuff in it, which I assume it will. I don't know how I'm gonna play a game like that without the ability to just phase through the fucking floor to get out. That ability is so fucking awesome. Like, I understand that they just had it exist in the dev environment, and they're like, hey, this is actually kind of neat. We should probably just put this in the game. I'm like, yeah, it's a really fucking cool ability, but you can't bring it back because you literally said the abilities in this game are not coming back. They were for this game. And it's like, but that ability, that should become standard, like the jump button. It should just be a standard ability. Get the fuck out of some of these places because it's such a time saver to not have to have all that backtracking to get out of stuff. But it's whatever. A lot of games don't have that ability. You got to backtrack to get out. So it's not like it's be all end all, but some of those caves are quite long and complicated. It's nice to just fucking zoom the fuck out. You know what it was a replacement for? The rope. Remember the old rope? The old school games, get the fuck out of the dungeon, rope back to the entrance.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was a replacement for.
Escape rope.
Yeah. Just get the fuck out quick. I like that. It should just be a standard ability, an item, whatever. An item use. Maybe you had to buy it instead of it just being like something you have all the time.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. But we'll see what they do with the next game with that. But no, I love the build mechanics. Everything about the game. They did all the dungeons were better than the ones, in my opinion, better than the ones in Breath of the Wild. Although some of the puzzles in some of the dungeons in Breath of the Wild were better. So the actual like dungeons I felt were better because I didn't cheese any of them. Lots of people cheese them because the game does give you, like, you're pretty fucking powerful in Tears of the Kingdom. Okay, you're really fucking powerful. you could cheese a lot of the game. But I didn't, because I wanted to experience the actual design of these dungeons. And when you actually do it that way, yeah, it's, I know a lot of you out there, you guys still to this day have yet to do the minecart dungeon the way they designed it, because it's
true.
It gets confusing. It can get really confusing. You got to keep track of a lot of shit. But I'm telling you, the payoff for doing it that way feels so much better than just cheesing through it because you're frustrated. Which a lot of you build shit, fly around, you cheese it. But yeah, I really love Tears of the Kingdom. It is, it's one of those things where a lot of people talk about how they miss like the linear games. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom makes me not want to go back to those games, because again, I don't replay games, but I keep replaying these ones. And there's a reason for that. These bring me back to what I felt made the original Legend of Zelda and Zelda 2 so great, is that open world exploration. Go wherever you want, do whatever you want to do, fuck around and find out. It makes me, honestly, it's so weird, because I don't want to like trash talk the linear Zelda games, because they're obviously, I feel like they've had better stories and better other stuff. Better dungeons, probably better boss fights. Although I got to give some credit, some of the boss fights, like the one blight, the Thunder Blight in Breath of the Wild, that one legit had some challenge to it. I enjoyed that fight quite a lot, actually.
That was a pretty good reskin.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that sucks, is like people don't like it because the bosses look similar, but the actual battle mechanics in that fight, oh my god, it's really great.
That one was a good boss fight.
Yeah. And then the boss fights in Tears of the Kingdom, I loved all of them. And they weren't always super hard. Like, I always felt the one in the minecart dungeon kind of feels like the one you're supposed to do first. Always felt that way to me. I know some people go to the sky one first and do the Colgera fight. And the Colgera fight, it's everything I wanted that one dragon fight in Twilight Princess to be. It's literally what I wanted that fight to be, but it wasn't. I wanted to fight that fucking dragon midair. I get to do this with Colgera. And then I find out I get to do it multiple times if I feel like it, which is awesome. So yeah, not the hardest fight. I had a little difficulty the first time trying to figure out the exact mechanics. And then once I got it, I was like, oh, okay. But man, it was fun. It was really, really fun. Like, it's just fun. Sometimes the boss fights don't have to be hard if they're just really fun actually doing the fight. The whole encounter is just really fun.
Nate, keep talking about Tears, because I got to use the restroom, but I really don't want to miss people's list stuff, because it will bother me if I miss it.
I was gonna ask if I could go next, but I'll wait for Game.
Yeah.
Only because I gotta go and I have dinner in the oven. I haven't eaten today.
You have to go. Yeah. But yeah, no. For Tears, all I could, I mean, just everything about the game. I don't want to say it's a flawless Zelda game, and I might feel different a decade from now, like I do about some of the games that are further down my list. But I have a hard time finding things in this game I just don't enjoy. The only, like, okay, I don't like the intro area. It could have been done better. Okay, cool. Well, I'm not there for very long, so who cares? Like, it's such a small part of the game. And to be honest, I usually wasn't a big fan of most intro areas in Zelda, because they all were just tutorial fests. But the problem is Breath of the Wild opened my fucking eyes that it doesn't have to be that way. Like, there's a way to actually make it doesn't feel like a tutorial. It just feels like you're playing the game. It was such a perfect opening to a Zelda game that you're like, oh. Because what sucked with Tears of the Kingdom is I actually enjoy the opening the most of any Zelda game. You're fucking with Zelda. You'd already accomplished everything in Breath of the Wild. There's shit going down. You're trying to figure out shit from the past. Got these ruins, these ancient shit. You see the fucking Ganondorf out there fucking dead. He comes back to life. Shit's going down. The Master Sword shatters. Fucking everything's going crazy. Like, what the fuck is happening? You start the game with Link at full fucking power, which has never happened in Zelda. We've never started with Link just fucking being a badass. And then right off the bat, the big baddie in the game's like, you ain't shit. You ain't fucking shit. Oh, yeah, you hold your sword out and stop my power? Fuck you. You ain't shit. And then it's like, dude, shit just got real. And honestly, even the final fight with him, look, the bottom line is I'm just even more powerful than I was the first last time I fought you. It is what it is. Like, I was I'm in all my badassery from Breath of the Wild. Ain't good enough. You ain't shit. Then by the time you get to him in the final part of the game, you're like, oh, well, why is this a little bit easier than then? Oh, well, that was badass Breath of the Wild version. Dude, look at my fucking arm. Look at this magic I can do. I'm a huge badass now. Dude, I can fuse arrows and do crazy. I couldn't do that. Breath of the Wild thing couldn't do that. Dude, the badassery's up a notch. And that fight is still really fun. Even though people, when I did it on live stream, got mad at me because the one phase that everyone thinks is so difficult. You can just shoot arrows, right? Like, you don't have to get in his face. Like, I literally, during the fight, I remember pausing because the chat was screaming at me that I'm doing the fight wrong. And I'm like, how am I doing the fight wrong? You're supposed to get up in his face. I'm like, well, I get up in his face and he's doing all this badass crazy shit. It kind of feels like the game's telling me maybe don't get in his face. I feel like the game's telling me don't get in this guy's face. I have other attacks and abilities. Well, that's not how the fight. How do you know that's not how the fight's supposed to be done? I feel like they're trying to tell me don't do this. So I didn't do it that way. Have I done it since that way? Sure. Do I understand why people think it's more fulfilling? Sure. It is harder. But every time I do it that way, I kind of just feel like this way feels wrong to me. Because every time you fuck up and he hits you and it takes like half your fucking hearts, I sit there and I go, why would anyone do it this way when I have a bow? It's like you're intentionally choosing. Like it's like you're in a fist fight with like a bully, right? And they're like a southpaw, and you're just intentionally choosing to let them get their southpaw uppercuts smashed on you, when you could use your speed to your advantage and take them out in a different way. But you're just choosing to allow the southpaw to do what the southpaw does best. It just felt wrong to me. Like that just doesn't. The game is clearly encouraging me to back up, dodge some of his at distance attacks, and fucking pot shot his ass. I don't. So people disagree with me on it all the time, but I'm like, look, you fight it how you want to fight. That's the beauty of the game. You can do what you want. I feel like the game was telling me, don't get in this guy's fucking face. Why would I get in his face and let him do his most powerful shit? Fuck that. Anyways, it was a fun fight though. I love Tears of the Kingdom. All right, Joycey, your turn.
Okay, so I know I gave you a hard time about your list, but it's really not bad, except for the Link to the Past part. But I'll forgive you. Okay, get my little notes here.
Not gonna, there's a certain other game now on my list too. They're not going to give me any. You've known for a long time about that game. It's like maybe you're done giving me flack for that one.
Nope. No, I'm teasing. I mean, okay, I won't do any hamster jokes this time.
I'm probably the only one without Ocarina of Time on my top 10. So
it's okay. It's okay. We forgive you. Real quick.
I did note in my Zelda memories. It's why I'm here. Without that game, I'm not here. So
weirdest list ever. No Ocarina of Time, no Link to the Past. Just insanity. But I like it.
Stash is just reevaluating your entire friendship right now.
When Stash gets to his list, I'm going to be paying very close attention. There's going to be certain games he leaves off that are going to piss me off. So
I'm still going to be listening. So I can't wait to hear his list either. Real quick, when y'all were talking about Link's crossbow training, the only reason I haven't played that game because I have beef with it. Because I got beef with Miyamoto. Dear Miyamoto-san. Thank you for making my favorite series. But we didn't get Twilight Princess because they wanted to sell what was the accessory? It wasn't the Super Scope. Good Lord, wrong system.
It was like that rifle attachment.
Yeah, it was something wild like that.
Well, yeah.
It was something wild like. It wasn't it was something. It reminded me of the Super Scope, but I think it had it was a different kind of attachment. But we could have had Twilight Princess, but instead, it was the Wii Zapper Tall Show. I trust Tall Show.
Yeah. I was the Zapper. I was pretty sure that's what it was called. Yeah.
Yeah, see, we could have had Twilight Princess, which means we could have gotten more. We could have had more Hot Midna. That's all I'm saying.
Light gun games back to the forefront with Zelda, baby. It's fucking sick. Anyways.
But anyway, back to my list. So my list may or may not make people happy, but we'll see. So coming in at number 10 is Skyward Sword. I love Skyward Sword. I think it's the art style gives whimsical until you get to the story. For all the Z-Link fans, that was our game. That was it. That's what we got. It was great. It was a lot of love. There was bullying, and then the bully gets a great arc.
Groose.
You want to what?
I forgot to bring Groose up. I love Groose.
Oh, the Groose is loose. Groose is amazing.
Groose, baby. The Pompadour. Let's go.
But if you know me, and if you've ever had at least one or two conversations with me, y'all know the goat of that game was Girahim. Girahim is everything 100%. Zant should have been. I feel like I don't know the entire behind the scenes, of course, but I almost wonder if they're like, let's make Zant and turn him into Prince, but he's evil. And Girahim reminds me of Prince.
That's interesting, Joycey, because I always thought Girahim was David Bowie.
Him too. David Bowie and Prince kind of in a similar category as far as their style is concerned.
But I agree. I think Girahim is possibly one of, if not the best villains we've ever had in the series. And how he antagonizes you the whole game.
Yes,
so good.
Yes. He is completely psychotic. It's like he's like Jigsaw, but then again, he's also like Prince, so he would like totally make you pancakes after like torturing you. So yeah. So I'm digging it. Like, so yeah, that was uncomfortable. And Link was like, "Rule 34 isn't a thing in here, bruh. Get away from me." Anyway, I'm sorry. This is an adult podcast. Okay. So for me at number 9, y'all catching up to that. A Link Between Worlds. Why? Because it's a link to the past, basically, but brighter. The game is actually very, very fun. Very, very, very fun. And I love the painting gimmick in that one. That's actually one I kind of wish would come back a little bit, or even come back in maybe certain scenarios. But I really like that gimmick. So what number am I on? 8. I apologize, y'all, in advance. Breath of the Wild is number 8. I know I'm a crazy woman.
That's a good spot.
But I love Breath of the Wild, and I talked to you guys earlier. The lead up to it, the hype train was great. The intro, playing that game for the first time, after so many years of, catching up and everything, was amazing. That same day, I remember I got off work early, of course, and I waited for the Amazon. This is when Amazon would actually before they got their own delivery, and they would just bring stuff and actually knock on your door. And I got my Switch, my controller, my Breath of the Wild, and everything. I took a nap, and then I woke up super late so I could stay up all night playing. So, so I felt like I was watching this new generation of Zelda fans like have their Ocarina of Time moment, and I was just happy to be a part of that, and I love that. So at number 7 is Echoes of Wisdom. I enjoyed the hell out of Echoes of Wisdom. It's not a perfect game, but I recognize it for its potential. I don't think they went as hard as they could have in Echoes of Wisdom, like they would a Link's Awakening. I felt the original, even though that's not one of my favorite Zelda games, just from a technical standpoint, I felt the original was good. The remake was amazing. And Echoes of Wisdom kind of put me in a way in that same space to love that art style. And I was like, but they just didn't go as hard as they could have on the dungeons. The dungeons were a little bit bland, I will admit. And it was a little, and I'm not talking about the art style, but I felt like the game itself was a little too fluffy for the type of lore that it drops on you. Because when you find out like who the baddie is and how he fits into this whole thing, I'm like, I'm horrified. And then of course, then you know, you have that whole horrifying scene when you realize who the baddie is, and then you have this beautiful, tearful goodbye with Tri, and it's like, I was just horrified, and now I'm in tears. I don't know what to do here, but it's a really cute game, and also smoothies. I mean, come on, y'all, we all love smoothies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At number 6, the OG Zelda. OG Zelda, in my opinion, I will say, the further and further we get from the 80s, it is starting to show the wear and tear, the years, all what we know now compared to what we knew then. So, but it's still enjoyable. It's still a tough game because you can't do all the things that we can do now. You know, you can't just necessarily, well, you can pause it, but you know, there's certain things that you just can't do that you can do in games now. You're not going to be able to get, you can fast travel, but you don't always get a chance to choose where you fast travel. No, you don't get to choose where you fast travel. So yeah, so there's little things like that. And now you didn't really have a full map. You had to memorize a lot of things, which is fun. I could still sit down and play it, and I'll have the time of my life, keep me busy for about 5 hours. And but again, a lot of it is a bit of nostalgia. So I could understand somebody wouldn't probably want to pick up that OG Zelda today and play it for the first time. I do understand that. So we're going to get into the top 5. These are my fun ones. At number 5, which pushed the OG Zelda out of my top 5, is Tears of the Kingdom, aka Breath of the Wild randomizer. So I love Tears of the Kingdom because, and I'm gonna probably repeat a lot of things that Nick said. Nate, you're not Nick, you're Nate. Nate said already. Tears of the Kingdom is Breath of the Wild, but better. It really is. The exploration is still there. The wonder is still there. My favorite scene in the whole game, because in my personal opinion, well, I'm not going to say all that, but I love the very end where after you've defeated Ganon, you've had your victory lap and everything, watching Sonya and Rauru, you know, see each other for the first time and kind of float away while Link gets his arm back, and he now gets to correct that mistake of now he has to catch Zelda again, and he catches her this time. And the way the music kicks up, and after you just played Ganon and you've had this long emotional sequence, it's, oh my God, beautiful. It's just beautiful. And then of course you have the very, very, very end with Minoru, but you kind of saw that coming. My only, I guess, things that bug me about Tears of the Kingdom, well, there's a few things that bug me. One of them is the story, in my opinion, was too easy. What the twist was supposed to be, let's be honest, we figured that out probably, if you're really paying attention, if you paid attention, and the sky, you already knew who that was. As soon as you drop down title screen and everything and you see the light dragon, you're like, girl, what you do? Zelda, what did you just do? You know, you kind of know. And then after like the second cut scene, it's like, okay, so that is her. And then if you didn't even see the cut scenes, or you weren't paying attention on the island, you just noticed there's a new dragon. If you fly up to it and sit on it and, you know, pull all their parts off and everything to cook with, you just look at it. It's like, girl, I know that's you. Zelda, talk to me. Are you okay? Why are you a dragon? So you kind of already can figure out what the big twist is. Versus number 4 on my list, Ocarina of Time. Now, because I played Ocarina of Time after it had already been out for several years and everything, I wasn't necessarily surprised. I knew. Spoilers for Ocarina of Time. If you have not played Ocarina of Time, it's a big one. Turn it down. Just turn it down. Sheik is Zelda, and I knew that, but watching that unfold through the game, that's what was exciting for me. And so that's why. And so Link falls asleep and blah, the 7 years go by, and now the world's all gone to hell, blah, 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 blah. I know that Ocarina of Time is technically a Link to the Past all over again, repackaged in a way. Link to the Past didn't have Sheik. So for me, that whole game was fun because I did not understand why Sheik was Zelda. And I understood like the impact that must have had for first-time players before we got the internet and the guides and everybody knew. I said, I bet people enjoyed that. And I got to another quick story. I like all my Let's Players. And one of my favorite Let's Players, he is getting into Zelda for the first time. Played Ocarina of Time for the first time. No clue, didn't know what was going to happen. And when that big twist was revealed, he's like, no way. I mean, he had a genuine, beautiful freak out. It was beautiful to watch. And I said, okay, I feel like I have that moment now. And I mean, he's like staring at the camera, just like, why didn't anybody tell me? It's like, because you say on every single live stream and every single video, no spoilers. That's why nobody told you. So basically, number 3, one of my favorite Zelda games, period, is going to be Majora's Mask. This is also first evidence, well, not first, but some evidence already that Nintendo does not know how to make a proper sequel. Because what Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time have to do with each other than Link, I really don't know. I don't know why that's a sequel. But anyway, so I love Majora's Mask for the simple fact. Yes, little indigestion, Cartkin. Yes, I love Ryan. Sorry. But Majora's Mask, what I love about it is from the get-go, from the time you press start, the tension is building. And then you meet the masked salesman and he's just freaky as hell, right? There's so many crazy theories about the masked salesman. And then you meet all these beautiful, sweet people, you know, of this town, this world that is going to die by this really wicked ass moon that's just staring down at it. And these are people that you emotionally connect with. You know, people have lives, people have kids, you know, they are terrified because it's about to literally be the apocalypse. There are people, you watch people go through all the stages of grief and denial and everything. The day 1, everybody's a little freaked out, but no one's really worried. Day 2, we're not worried. No, we're not worried. Day 3, everybody's like having a meltdown. Okay. It's great. Okay. It's great for story wise. So, and of course the Anju and Cafe quest is probably one of my most favorite quests in Zelda, period. It battles with Terry Town from Breath of the Wild. So those are my 1 and 2 spots. I cared about that couple. I cared that they saw each other again. I cared that they were going to spend they were going to greet the morning together. That's just heartbreak. I cry every time I play that game. You know, the dancer who lost his life and now he can't teach his students, you know, his dance. All these emotions, and I have no idea why that was rated T for teen. Or maybe I'm looking at it differently because I played it as an adult. And I was like, I totally understand these people. This is so sad and it's scary. And then you get to the very, very end of the game and you watch the credits roll and you don't get all the satisfaction, but you have some realizations like, oh my gosh, that was the butler's son. That's why it was so important that he had a race with me. And oh my gosh, Cafe and, you know, and Anju are finally getting married. And if you kept going back to the ranch, you found out there was actually a love triangle going on. Yeah, there was some drama going on with Anju and Cafe. So I love the emotion and I love the fact that Nintendo really kind of took it there. Whenever, and again, you know, I'm hanging out at Nate's live streams almost every night. So a lot of people have heard me already say this or talk about this. When I say that Nintendo can make mature games without the blood and gore, the curse words, it doesn't have to be super, super hyper realistic. Majora's Mask is it. I think it's even though it's very colorful and you're adventuring and questing and everything, looking at it as an adult, I'm like, these people going through some shit right now. How would I act if I literally saw the apocalypse about to drop on me? Oh, it was rated E. Good Lord, why is this rated E? That Majora's Mask needs a T rating. I'm sorry. That game is entirely too emotional for one human being. So we get to my last two. So coming in at number 2, y'all already know what number 1 is anyway. Coming in at number 2 was Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess, I played that game probably about 5 or 6 times. I never played the GameCube version, but I played the Wii version and I played the Wii U version in HD. In the Wii version, I don't remember this in the HD version. I think I checked, but I don't remember. But in the Wii version, Dark Link is in there. Somebody tried to argue me down that he was not in there. You can't find, if you check it online, they'll say he's not in there. I don't know if the developers meant for this to happen, but Dark Link is in Twilight Princess. Go find him if you haven't. But anyway, I suggest looking downstairs in your house, and we'll leave it at that. But there's so many things. Like, of course, that was the game that brought me back to Zelda, brought me back to gaming. All again, I loved seeing a bit of a older acting Link in a way, because he was such a bro. He was such a. I think he's roughly 17 in the game, but he was so 20 years old. I just got out on my own. I have my first studio apartment and I'm going clubbing. He kind of has that attitude. And he thinks he's a badass about everything. You know, kill a piranha plant, he's got to flash his sword before he sheaths it. I loved that about it. And for those who, before Christmas and everything, that was Twilight Princess was what I based my Zelda script off of. I got it. I wrote the real sequel to Twilight Princess. Okay, I wrote the real sequel. I don't know what the hell Link's crossbow training is, but I wrote the real sequel. Anyway, I think it was what was the name of the boss in the desert, the skeleton boss. I can't remember his name now. Star-Lord, favorite boss in the game, because the game gives you the best item, which is the spinner, and the spinner. Spinner's great. You are my people, except for Nate. So that's right. Stay on mute. That's what I thought
about the spinner. And
well, you are right about the spinner. I'm kidding, Nate. But the spinner didn't get any more justice until the first Hyrule Warriors. But it was a great item. I thought it was fun, just underutilized. I love, of course, hook shots, claw shots. All of that is my jam. There are certain things in the game that I was like, I felt were either underutilized or weren't done as well. But what they did do was they kind of gave us some closure about the Hero of Time. If you haven't played that or haven't played the game, you should play it. And you'll find out what happened to the Hero of Time. The wolf thing I thought was just interesting, but it was really cool in the sense that I get it. A wolf is perceived as this dark beast and everything. But of course, if you read about wolves, they go in packs, they almost work as a regular, as a regular human family in a way. So in a way, the wolf was relatable. They mate for life. They take care of their old, their wolves are just like amazing creatures. But they're also very ferocious and they will fuck you up. So there's that. And that's what I liked about some of the things I liked about Twilight Princess. I also like Twilight Princess because one of my biggest gripes with Zelda, with a lot of Nintendo games, honestly, but Zelda especially, is where is Link's parents? Where is your mama? And why are you running around the woods with a sword and saving the world? Boy, get your ass home and do some homework. I mean, I have all these kind of questions. And in Twilight Princess, that was one of the first times Link had somebody. He at least had his village. He had really good friends. He was, respected in his community. The kids loved him. The older people loved him. Everybody loved him. So that's something else that I really liked about that game. And coming in at number 1, of course, is A Link to the Past, because A Link to the Past is true greatness. It is just experiencing greatness of gaming. Okay, around every single corner. Around every single corner is a secret. There's always something to find. There's always a new dungeon. There's always a new enemy, a new item. Just there is no wasted space in that game. I don't feel like what I'm doing is busy work. Sometimes in certain games, certain quests make you just, like you guys were talking about padding. That's nothing in that game feels like padding. Everything feels completely intentional. Yes, the devs meant to put that bush right there. Right, even if the bush doesn't do anything, they meant to put it right there. So they meant to do every single thing that you do in that game. And then also this was still when we were like younger, and A Link to the Past was the first game I had seen like this. So imagine for some of y'all, if you went from N64 and then you went to like a Switch, that would probably blow your mind. That's how it felt from NES to SNES. It's like, oh my God, I didn't know games could look this beautiful. Link with the pink hair, due to some technical things or whatever, Link ends up with pink hair in that game, and it's beautiful. Anyway, and of course, again, that was one of my favorite games of all time. Also, the big thing, and I apologize, y'all, I'm very, very sleepy and I haven't eaten all day, which is my own fault. I'm usually way more animated. So quick story, when I played Link to the Past as a kid, after I got it for Christmas from Santa, not my parents, but Santa, I remember you get the 3 pendants and you get the Master Sword, and you go charge Hyrule Castle, and you beat Aghanim, the fake king or whatever. And I'm like 10, and so I'm like, yeah. What? Huh? Dark World? There's oh, okay. So what do you mean there's 9 more temples? What? So of course, because it was the first game I had really seen like this, it didn't take me into my brain like your inventory is not even a part or the way full. Of course you have more game. That kind of stuff just didn't click with me. But it was such a great moment that I have to tell you all right now that Gamebird and I are also no longer friends.
Joycey, I think A Link to the Past is a 10 out of 10 game. I'm just having fun. I actually think it's a perfect 10 out of 10.
I'm gonna be climbing in your windows and snatching your people up later.
I'm sorry. I had to. I'm sorry.
Hide your kids, hide your wife. Okay. Yeah. Joycey is really sleepy. Okay, I'm singing memes now, and I'm holding a mic that could stand on its own. But in all seriousness, it's like I said, just the I love you, Gamer. I love all of you for the record. I do. I love you all for the record. So anyway, but yeah, so it was just like kind of mind blowing. It was such a beautiful moment for me as a child. And I distinctly remember this because yay, I accomplished something, but also what? I'm totally confused, but yay, more game, So also one of the best dungeons in that game. First of all of them are good. All of the dungeons in A Link to the Past, I can honestly say are all top tier. And that's saying something. And then I think the game, y'all are making me laugh.
She's
what part was it? Yeah, because I'm tired as fuck. It's my own fault.
You just gotta get through this and you're done.
I should have ate dinner. Damn it. Anyway, the best dungeon in the game, I'm sorry, is Temple. I think it's like number 3 in the Dark World, or 4. It's in the Lost Woods, and this has several different entrances, and part of it's underground, and you have to go through all these different entrances, and then you got to fall through a hole, and there's all these, and there's all these different, like, it's almost like a mystery dungeon in a way that you got to piece together until you find, the main entrance. And I've always thought that was so creative, and it kind of bugs me that we haven't had that on a bigger scale. I would love to see a a dungeon like that, half underground, half above ground, have all kind of different things. In fact, I honestly thought they were going to do that in Tears of the Kingdom. In one of the trailers, I forgot, I think it was the temple in the desert that was like rising up from the dust. And I was like, do we have an underground dungeon now? We didn't, but I was hoping for one. But Nintendo should bring that back, or put in different entrances around the world to one big dungeon underground to the final baddie. That would be awesome. But yeah, it's just my favorite game, y'all. I could still sit down and play that with a big goofy ass smile in my face. I still die sometimes in A Link to the Past, knowing exactly what's going to happen. So yeah. And if anybody's knocking me in the chat, that's okay. Not everybody can be this gorgeous, honey. I understand. It takes work. I wake up every day. Because yes, I woke up like this, and I'm gonna fall asleep looking just like this.
What? That's wonderful. All right. Well, thank you, Joyce, for that list. I know you got to go to bed.
It was nice meeting you, Greek and Tiger Time. I love you both. I'm sorry I didn't get to talk to you more.
Great to meet you too.
Nice to meet you.
What were you trying to say, Nate? I'm sorry. What were you trying to say?
It doesn't matter. It's a link to my ass. That's all that matters at this point.
I'm coming in your window and I'm snatching your people up now. Let me go get something to eat. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for having me on, guys. Joycey. It's always fun. Next big Zelda topic, I will crash again.
Thanks for your list.
Thank you.
Night, guys.
Yeah.
Night.
All right. After that, man, that was wild.
Cracks me up.
I was also gonna ask if I could go next, because the reason I left for so long earlier is because my son is getting sick and he threw up. So
I literally was gonna have you go next. I figured you were gonna have to leave. So.
I appreciate that.
I can read the room sometimes. I'm pretty good at that. All right, Geek Apprentice, your turn.
I'm like, I love being here, but also I can't stay awake.
Responsibilities.
That too. Yes, for sure. So I do need to clarify a couple things before I get into my list, and that is, I have only finished, meaning like beginning to final boss, 9 Zelda games. There are plenty that I have started, gotten a lot of the way through, or if you're counting non-canon games, there might be a couple there, but the 3 main ones that I think are the big kickers of like, oh my gosh, why haven't you played this? And I actually made a video like a couple weeks ago about this as well, but like why I haven't played the Zelda games I haven't played. Some of them are very stupid reasons, like, I just don't want to. And then some of them are like, I just don't have access to it, or I didn't have access to it when it was a thing. Anyway, but I think the 3 main kickers is the fact that I have not finished Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, and A Link to the Past. A Link to the Past, I have started multiple times, and I just can't get myself to finish. And I'll say this too, all 3 games, I would argue, are objectively good games. Like, I don't question. I'm like, these are great games. They're just not for me. And then Twilight Princess, it's not even the beginning tutorial area. It's the same as A Link to the Past. I'm like, I don't know why. I just can't get myself to finish. Majora's Mask, it's the 3-day cycle, which I think, again, objectively, is really cool. But my brain just gets overwhelmed. It's probably nowhere near as difficult as my brain is thinking it is. But that's what my brain is doing. But I did have to put at least one of those in number 10, and I decided to put Majora's Mask at number 10 because I have childhood memories attached to that. Because it came out so shortly after Ocarina of Time, I did watch one of my brothers play it. There's actually a fun memory that I'm forgetting his name, but the twin sisters that learned the dance, my brother and I would mimic that dance for fun. Like my mom would hold down the button and then we would just mimic I'm like 5 years old. He's like 9. It was hilarious.
It's actually my favorite mask in the game is the one that lets you dance like that. It's so good.
So funny. I should say I have defeated the final boss because I didn't play through the whole game. It was because my brother, I must have been like 6 or 7. My brother, the second one, he had, why am I blanking on the giant, not the Giant's Max. What's the name of the mask? Fierce Deity.
Oh, Fierce Deity.
And he was like, I bet you could do the final boss with this mask on. I was like 6 or 7. and maybe 7, 8. I'm not doing that on purpose. I'm a teacher. I'm so sick of hearing it too. A dance teacher.
I've been
And
cool with it since the South Park episode. Once that happened, I'm like, all right, I'm fine with this now.
but he was like, try it. So I did defeat Majora by using the Fierce Deity's mask. So I think objectively it's a fantastic game. I just have not been able to get myself to sit and finish it. And any Zelda game I'm not willing to finish, I love watching other people play it. And because I was the youngest of 3, that was a lot of my gaming experience when I was younger. So I think it's very comforting for me to watch others play it too. And it's just as satisfying. Well, it's a different satisfying, but yeah. Number 9, I have Minish Cap, which I only completed a couple of years ago. I love that game. The music is amazing. I'm not a huge fan of 2D or top-down Zelda. That's usually not my go-to. That doesn't mean they're bad. They're just not my go-to. And I finally had access to it with the NSO. Played it on stream, and that's another thing. A lot of these games I don't want to play unless I can stream it, which is why I haven't played Spirit Tracks yet. I would want to be able to stream it because it's like playing with a friend on the couch next to you. So I want to be able to discuss it with someone as I'm going through it. So that's part of why. Beautiful game. I love the Minish music. I love the story. I was hesitant at first. I was like, I really think I'm only going to like Zelda games where Ganondorf is the villain. Wrong. I liked Vati a lot. Great game. Number 8, I'm surprised I put this so low, but Link's Awakening. That was another one that like I would dabble. I had my own Game Boy Color. I'm not sure why. I probably had some Barbie game on there. Lord only knows. But I would dabble around in that and love the music, but I didn't finish it until the Switch edition. Funny enough, my mom hates that art style, which is why she won't play Echoes of Wisdom. And I'm like, what? I love this. I love this so much. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say on that. Oh, well, I will say, so it's such a weird game. And when I learned about the development of Link's Awakening, I was like, this really was just like, I don't know, do this. I don't know, do that. And it worked. It was so great. Telltale Heights, that music is so good. If you listen to the Taylor Davis cover, she's a violinist. Oh, it's so good. The music is just amazing. I also love Mabe Village. That music is really, really nice.
Yes.
Number 7, I have A Link Between Worlds. I played this on the 3DS shortly after I got back into Zelda, after I played Breath of the Wild, or I was in the middle of playing Breath of the Wild. I saved up. The 3DS had been out for a while at this point, but I saved up and bought one from eBay so I could play Animal Crossing because I didn't realize there was another Animal Crossing. And I love those games. So I got that and I was like, what is this game? It's kind of cute looking. I love the wall art merging mechanic. That was so fun. It just brought a whole new level to the puzzles that I absolutely adored. It was so good. And to me, the fact that I finished that makes me feel like, well, it's like I finished A Link to the Past, but I didn't. It's close enough. It's not. Obviously, it's not the same thing. The music, oh my gosh. Most of my main things with Zelda games is just, oh my gosh, I love the music. Oh my gosh, I love the music. Especially like as a dancer, like being able to hear music and like visualize so fully, not even necessarily a dance, but I am going to get to that with a different one though. Ugh, I could go on forever about music. I won't. Number 6 is Echoes of Wisdom. So I've come to realize that, and I'm sure most people understand this, I don't know why it took me so long, is that a lot of our favorites tend to be directly tied to what we were going through when we played it. That is definitely a huge part of it. Like I mentioned before, Echoes of Wisdom came out 10 days after I gave birth to my son. And I could have played it on my own. My mom stayed with us for a little bit, which was such a huge help. So like I could have gotten the game and played it. And especially looking back now, I did not understand fully how simple the newborn phase is compared to toddler. He sleeps. That's what he does. He just sleeps. He wasn't colicky, so it was much easier than what most people have had to deal with. But that was one of like my first, well, it was my first new Zelda game after having a kid. And every time I played it, I kept thinking, one day my son could be playing this. I wonder what his first Zelda game is going to be. And like my husband and I have talked about that a lot. We play very different video games, but the one we both love is Zelda games for sure. And we've talked about that so many days. Oh my gosh, which should it be Wind Waker? Like that's a nice one to jump into, but Ocarina of Time is just so good. But also maybe Breath of the Wild, or maybe it should just be whichever one is the newest one at the time. And we realize it's going to end up being organic. Like what happens. We're not going to force Ocarina of Time on him. We might force Wind Waker. Because I don't think I could bear it if my son grows up and goes, Ocarina of Time's janky and I don't like it. I'll be like, you're disowned now. I can't. Or worse is if he says, I like it, but only the 3DS version. That's even worse. You can't. I hate the 3DS version. That's a different controversy.
Wow.
But I loved Echoes of Wisdom. I was hesitant because I was like, look, I am a stubborn old school girl. You play as Link and no one else. That is who you play as. And the concept of the game mechanic, I was like, maybe. I loved it. It much like the wall merging and the Link Between Worlds, it just opened up so many different doors. And especially coming off of having such a stoic Link in previous the Wild Era games, and I love the Wild Era games, having a character that was emoting even just a little bit with Zelda and had this relationship with Tri was just so adorable. I mean, we still had a stoic Link, just you weren't playing as him. And I thought it was handled really well, and I'm trying so hard to get my mom to play it because I think for someone who doesn't do combat very well, she would really, really like this game. And she's good at puzzles. She's incredibly smart. And she just won't do it because of the art style, which is sad. I don't think any of the dungeons stand out to me or the music except for Elden Volcano, the Elden Temple. I'm blanking on the name. But the one with the Gorons, that one had great, great music. It all had great music. It's just none of it stood out enough, but I think I need to play it again. Top 5. This is hard because other than my number 1, 2 through 5 are constantly changing places. Sometimes it just depends on which one I've talked about most recently. Which one have I watched someone play most recently? Which one have I played most recently? And I'm like, oh wait, this game's fantastic. I forgot. It needs to be higher. So right now, as of this moment, it could change in 24 hours. Number 5 is Skyward Sword. I didn't play it until the HD version. Like I said, I was left-handed, and so I didn't have a desire to play it because I was like, well, I struggle with and I've met plenty of people who are like, I'm left-handed, and I had 0 issues with the motion controls. I'm like, sorry, I couldn't. I just couldn't do it. I wasn't deterred by Fi. I wasn't deterred by the sky being open and kind of empty. Like none of that bothered me. It was just I can't do the motion controls left-handed. I would totally be open to trying it if it was made for left-handed. Which now I know I apparently could try. So, but getting to finally play it, I was like, this story. Oh my gosh. I completely understand why Link is stoic in the Wild Era games. I do. But Expressive Link is so good. And I made a video recently about like, it was kind of a joke video, but like, who could Link's Valentine's be in each Zelda game? And I was like, this is the only game where I'm like, oh yeah, the game is full on telling you that they like each other. And I mean, there's a song that's literally called the romance song for them. So I'm like, but it's so cute. The story is so riveting. As mentioned before, the fully orchestrated music is just, it's so good. And I do like the gameplay. The only thing I struggle with, and this is a me problem, it's just me. I hate the Silent Realm so much. My heart rate can't take the Silent Realm. I had way too many close calls in the Silent Realm. I can't do it. I hate those so much, but I recognize that it's kind of good gameplay. I don't know. That's usually a main thing with me in games is like, I recognize why this is good. I just can't do it. Number 4. Oh gosh, this one gets flipped with number 2 all the time. Right now is Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild was Wii U, Zelda Wii U when I first learned about it. I was not there for the entirety of the hype train. I was just getting back into it. But I distinctly remember it was Christmas of 2017. I had been talking to my mom about it, and I had been getting back into Zelda, and like we would play like the odd N64 GameCube game as a family every now and again. We would play Mario Kart. We would play Mario Party 5 specifically. Randomly, we would have marathons of who could get furthest in Banjo-Kazooie in an hour. We would do all 3 save files, and whoever could get the furthest in an hour with Banjo-Kazooie was the winner. And when I was really young, my mom and I would team up on the 3rd file, and each of my brothers had the other one. And we didn't have, cell phones that had a timer on them. We didn't have cell phones at all. So we had to use the microwave timer. And sometimes we would like purposely cook something, which, I mean, you can't set a microwave for an hour. That's too long. But like, that's like something that we would do. And it was so fun. But my mom for Christmas saved up, and she got a used Wii U because the Switch was out, but we couldn't afford that. She got a used Wii U and got Breath of the Wild. And we sat down in our tiny little apartment that we were living in at the time. We were on tough times for a while there, but it makes you appreciate your games a lot more because of how expensive they can be. And she was like, well, what is this game? Like, I know it's Zelda, but like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know. I've watched a bunch of stuff. It's open world. You can go wherever you want. And I was like, I'm going to try and be as linear as possible because I need a guide. I'm getting better about not needing a guide. You come out to the Great Plateau, obviously that massive scene, and my mom's looking and she goes, is that the whole map? Do you get to explore all of that? I was like, yeah. And she was like, that's huge. That's going to take you forever. It's going to take you like 2 years to finish this game. And I was like, no, it'll take me 2 years to complete it, not finish it. There's a difference. I walked down to the side. I talked to the old man. And at that point, I think I was already spoiled and knew it was the king. And there are subtle ways that you could figure that out anyway. And I grab a stick and I'm like, oh, I can go beat up that bokoblin. Like, it's a red bokoblin. It looks like it's pretty easy, right? It one-shot killed me. And like, the game over screen for Breath of the Wild. And I'm just sitting there with my controller. And my mom and I are both just staring. She was like, isn't that an easy enemy? I'm like, yes. She was like, and it one-shot killed you. I'm like, yes, it did. And she was like, oh, this is that kind of game. I was like, I'm going to die a lot. And I have an irrational fear of dying in video games. Not in real life. Don't care about that. I hate dying in video games, specifically. Don't know why that is. I think because of older games, like losing so much progress. Whereas like now, that's not as much of an issue. But adored this game, getting into it. It, like I mentioned before, opened up so many doors to what I do now. Like I never could have imagined I'd be on like other people's podcasts getting to talk about Zelda. Like what? That's insane. And yet here we are. So, like I said, it flips with the other Wild Era game. Just depends on the day. Wind Waker's number 3. Wind Waker, it was the origin story of me realizing how obsessed I would become. Maybe not obsessed, but how much I adore and love Celtic and Irish music. Oh my gosh. That title thing, that title screen, my husband and I both were like, oh, that is like the best. It's so good. And the art style is great. My eldest brother, he missed out. That's his problem. But like those graphics still hold up today. The whole tingle tuner, messing with my brother, he loved that. He did not love that. We love that. The story is great. And like, I know story is not always their focus. Like it's a secondary 3/4 thought. And I get that. They make sure the gameplay is fun. And I appreciate that. But I do love a good story. And even something as simple as Link is trying to save his little sister. I'm the little sister. I love that. And I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. Of course, my brother's like, yeah, sure, whatever. And I'm like, you'd protect me. You would.
I actually think, I think you make a really good point. I think there's something really sweet about that being Link's kind of purpose in that game.
Yeah.
But I feel like people sleep on the story on that game. I actually think it's one of the best. Obviously, it's not as dialogue heavy as Skyward Sword is. Sure. But I actually think it's one of the best stories of the entire series. When you dig into like the motivations of Ganondorf,
there's so
and
much
like
there. Yeah.
Just like the history and what happened to this world is one of the most fascinating and sad, almost like sad as well.
Yes.
So,
coincidentally, also has an expressive Link.
Yeah.
He meows in this game. How fun. But like that intro, you know, giving the backstory, and it's got that like medieval Renaissance music. Oh, it's so good. I'm obsessed with the music. It's so good. But yes, like that, like this is the one time where I'm like sympathizing with Ganondorf. I'm like, oh,
Absolutely.
that kind of does suck. You still are evil and disgusting, but also there's more of a motivation other than, well, you're Ganondorf, so obviously you're evil. It's like, no, there's a reason why you're like this.
It's
and
more
that
of the
makes more
gray,
sense.
like it's more of
Yeah.
a gray villain where it's like you sympathize with the motives. Love
Yeah.
that.
It's so good. And Tetra's arc, you know, and I go back and forth. Some days I'm like, wow, she becomes Zelda and she disappears. And then other days I'm like, well, no, duh. She has just to be protected, just to be hidden away. And, you know, the king being a big gray area, King Daphnis, because he's like, but him owning up to him, like, I made a huge mistake and I'm going to fix it. And also people talk about it's a childish game. I'm sorry. How do we defeat Ganondorf? We stab him in the head. It's a little dark. Also, I find these redeads way scarier than Ocarina of Time because of the scream. I don't. It's like a banshee. I can't. Oh, I purposely avoid it. It scares me.
Well, and they're
but
like cannibals too, which is like creepy.
Yeah, and like it's like, for being so colorful, you're terrifying. Honestly, like I actually am not a huge fan of all the dungeon music, but that's saying something for a game that has. It's like, it's not that it's bad music. It's just, well, in a game with this many great soundtracks or pieces in them, I guess I have to dislike something somewhat. Yeah, I absolutely love Wind Waker. Number 2 is Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom is the first Zelda game I was on the hype train from start to finish. And I didn't realize how much fun the hype train was. Like, I wanted the game. But even after I had the game, I was like, I kind of missed the waiting period. I missed the theorizing. I missed the talking with people and watching the trailers. And I go back and forth on like, do I wish I hadn't seen all the trailers because I felt like I was spoiled a little bit on some things. Am I going to watch all trailers for the next 3D Zelda? I don't know. And I remember that my reaction to the E3 2019 announcement trailer for sequel to Breath of the Wild was my first video that took off. I am not someone that over exaggerates or goes crazy for my reactions. The closest I had was when they announced the Link's Awakening remake, because I had been saying for years, just to myself, I wasn't really doing much, like, man, why don't we have Link's Awakening? I feel like that game's underrated. But that one, I was a part of that podcast, the Highland Games cast, and the 3 of them had gone to E3, and I didn't feel comfortable, because it takes me a long time to get comfortable with other people. I didn't feel comfortable yet just flying out to California from Florida on my own. I was like, I'm not there yet, but it was okay. And actually, funny enough, in their video right at the end, someone's like, someone needs to check on Geek and see if she's okay. Because they had just announced Banjo-Kazooie in Smash. I don't play Smash, but to me, that immediately said, I'm going to get to play Banjo on the Switch someday. And I won't have to do the N64 because we didn't have the Xbox that played it. I think one of my brothers did though. But seeing that trailer, I lost it, and I was still living at home. So whenever I recorded something in my room, everyone's like, "Oh, you're always so quiet." In my old videos, I'm like, "It's because I didn't want my family to hear me. Like, I wasn't doing anything bad. It was just like, I'm a little embarrassed. I don't want them to know I make videos." And then I found out years later, oh, half my family watches it, and I'm like, what? Why? You don't even know what I'm talking about. And they're like, it's just so fun. It's fascinating. And I'm like, okay, fantastic. Good thing I've never said anything bad. No, I wouldn't. I love my family. But I
don't have them watch this show.
I'm the most tame one in the family. I don't think well, no, my grandmother's not. I think most of them would be like, they'd be like, how are you doing?
Grandmother would think about the intro is what I want to know. That's the tone for the show.
Brothers wouldn't care. My brothers would not care at the slightest. I think my mom would be like, huh, interesting. Anyway, moving on. I'm the one that's like, I don't even use swear words. I actually, and I hope this doesn't come across bad, I posted in my Discord like, hey guys, I'm going to be on this podcast. And then during the intro, bless you, during the intro, I went, just FYI, guys, this isn't PG like my stuff.
No.
I need to
We're
clarify
not a
that
PG
again.
stuff. I dropped an F-bomb earlier.
I think the intro is PG.
Look,
am I missing something here?
The intro is PG for me.
I'm such a stick in the mud. Like, I will full on. I'm a stick in the mud. Y'all's PG is my, or no, excuse me. My PG is y'all's G.
Your PG might be like what I'm willing to let a 2-year-old watch.
Yeah. And I fully acknowledge that.
That's okay, though. I've always done that. That's okay.
Yeah, most of my family would just be like, "Oh, that's interesting." Anyway, moving on. They wouldn't care. My grandmother would be like, but she's the only one that's as like straightforward as I am on that stuff. That's just me. But
That's funny.
yeah, I watched Tears of the Kingdom develop from start to finish. I don't remember what I was saying before that. Oh crap. Mom brain. I can't make two thoughts go together. I was talking about my family. Oh, my reaction to Tears of the Kingdom. I was sobbing, like practically hyperventilating. As soon as like they got to Doug Bowser, I was like basically in my head, like, shut up. I don't care. Like, pause. And I'm like, I've never just like cried on a stream, and I felt a little ridiculous at first. But then of course I'm looking at my chat and they're all like, no, we're right there with you. I'm like, I freaking love Breath of the Wild and I get another. As much as I don't like how we get the story, I love the story. I cried when Zelda was going to become a dragon, and I feel bad. I did not see it coming. I don't know if I just wasn't paying attention. But most of my time playing Zelda, or Tears of the Kingdom specifically, would be like 8 hours straight. This was clearly before I had a child. It would be 8 hours straight till like 4 or 5 in the morning. So I think I just wasn't functioning. I would just be like, I've opened up like 7 areas of the depths now. I've been in darkness for hours. Oh my gosh. And freaking out about like every little thing. But I love the story. Freaked out when Ganon swallowed the tear. But like it was mentioning earlier, yeah, the last part of Breath of the Wild, it's like, you're so easy. That was fun. Anyway, whereas this one, that last phase, even if it's easy, felt earned. It felt justified. When you drive your master sword into his skull, into the tear, it's so satisfying. You're like, yes, finally, you're gone. I'm so done with you. And I was lucky enough to have followed the geoglyphs in order. I followed Impa because my mom saw them out of order. I know so many people who saw them out of order, and I'm like, that's probably confusing, or at least takes some of the fun out of like the hype going up and down, I suppose. But thankfully I followed through to that cave, and I had the wherewithal to take a picture and look at the geoglyphs in order. So just overall, like, I have such fond memories of being able to watch Tears of the Kingdom develop from start to finish. And again, that's when my channel grew a lot more, and I was like, this is crazy. So this is what people have been doing for years, you know, but they had like friend groups that they talked to, and I'm just now getting back into it, which was really crazy. Shocker of shockers, my number one, for anyone that knows me, is Ocarina of Time. Is there nostalgia bias? Yeah, obviously. And I have no shame in that whatsoever. I was not privileged to be born in time to understand the jump from A Link to the Past to Ocarina of Time. I can appreciate it. But part of me wishes, like, man, I wish I really understood how massive of a jump this was. Again, I can appreciate it. And personal opinion, I think Zelda's jump to 3D was better than Mario's jump to 3D. Still a good game. Can't stand the camera at all. Mostly Ocarina of Time. The story's great. The music's great. The dungeons are great. The progression is great. The nostalgia is great. Are there flaws? Yes. The only thing I will give the 3DS version is being able to equip the iron boots. That was very helpful. But I just have such fond memories of watching this game. Such fond memories of, like, this is so stupid, but I can laugh about it now. I think I was in early high school, and I was at my church's youth group, which honestly kind of sucked. It was pretty cliquey, so a bunch of us left and did our own thing. We were like, we're not even learning anything, and I hate this.
It was like youth group.
Yeah, pretty much. And they're like, why'd you leave? I was made fun of for actually knowing things, and I was really annoyed. Anyway, I was like, then why are we here? But whatever. But there was a guy there I had a major crush on. Major crush on. Super nice dude. And he and his best friend, and the best friend was nice to me too. They were like some of the only people. There was like maybe 5 or 6 people that I felt like I got along with. And I'm like, I get it. I'm weird. I'm different. That's fine. That's why I'm leaving. But they were talking about Zelda, and I don't know which Zelda game they were talking about because I had been out of it for so long. But I knew Ocarina of Time, and I was like, oh, which Zelda game? And they're talking. I was like, I don't know that one, but I love Wind Waker and Ocarina of Time. And the best friend, not in a mean way, was kind of like, no, you don't. And I'm like, yes, I do, actually. I love those games. And they're like, no, you don't. I'm like, I don't know why I would lie about this. And I was like, fine, test me. And so the guy I had a crush on, he was like, could you like name the music? And I was like, yeah, if anything, I would probably be better than that than actually playing the game. But so they got out their phones and they just like started playing random songs from Ocarina of Time, and I would name all of them within 2 seconds. Oh, Kokiri Forest. Oh, the Forest Temple, Fire Temple, Deku. Anyway, I would name one of those. And they'd be like, who's Sheik? I'm like, Zelda. You know, I'm putting all this information out there. And they're like, dude, you're a girl and you actually know things. And I'm like, yeah. It's okay. It was never reciprocated, but that's okay because my husband's better. But
Heck yeah.
Yeah, 14-year-old me being like, oh, I'm going to win over my crush with my Zelda knowledge. And at the most, he was like, oh, cool. And then moved on. I was like, dang it. I really thought I had it in the bag with that. So, yeah, that's my list. You can tell I'm getting tired. And so I'm like, music is everything great. But yeah, Ocarina of Time will always be my favorite, if for no other reason than nostalgia.
Heck yeah.
Awesome. I'm guessing you got to head out now then?
Yeah.
No.
It's almost 1 where I am, and I have work tomorrow, and I have a feeling my baby is going to be waking up a lot. So, and my husband works at like 5 a.m., so I don't want to put that on him.
No, you're good. Thank you for being here. Do you want to go ahead and, preview anything that's coming up that you got going on?
Sure. Yes. So again, thank you so much for having me. My schedule's always weird, so I'm glad I was able to come on. Like I mentioned previously, I have a bunch of old videos that from like 2021 that I tweaked a little bit, each of them for the 40th anniversary of Zelda. They're a series of videos on like top 5 forest dungeon themes, top 5 fire dungeon themes, things like that. So the next one will be Friday, and then the next Monday, Wednesday, and Friday as well. I also stream on Fridays and Sundays. If I end up getting any sicker, because I'm a little sick right now, but not that much, I may not stream, but I usually stream on Friday nights, and it's usually a Zelda game of some kind. And then on Sunday, I play Mario Party Jamboree with some friends. But apparently this Sunday, we might be playing Four Swords Adventures, which I've never played.
Cool.
So,
Very cool.
because I've always been like, ew, multiplayer Zelda. But everyone says the same thing. If you play with people who love Zelda, you'll probably like it.
It's
and I'm
fun.
like, okay.
That game's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that's it for me. Eventually, I'll probably have other videos about Animal Crossing and Hunger Games, especially with the new Hunger Games film coming out this year. But mostly Zelda.
Very nice. All right. Well, have a good night then. And
Yes, thank you
Great
so
to have
much.
you on.
Nice to meet you. Yeah.
Geek, thanks for coming on tonight, and thank you for an awesome Zelda list. I love how everyone's list has been way different from each other so far too.
Yes.
Very cool to see that.
Very big testament to how amazing the series is. That it's not all the same, frankly. So thank you again for having me on. It was good talking with you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
So yeah.
Hey.
Bye-bye.
Tiger.
Hey. Time for the best list on this podcast. Baby.
Yeah, right. We'll see about that.
This is facts, not feelings, Game Bird. All right.
Okay. So it'll look just like mine then.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So here we go. Number 10 is Skyward Sword.
Hmm.
I really liked Skyward Sword. The story is great. One of my favorite soundtracks in the series. Really like Skyloft. I'm a sucker for an island, and floating island even better. Hey, I love the loft wings. They're such a cool little animal addition too. Yeah, I feel like I was a huge fan of the Wii motion controls too. I was one of the defenders of that. Thought that was a really cool system. I liked how they mix it up with Demise, but in terms of Skyward Sword, really what everyone else has said too. Like the dungeons were really fun, the world building was great, the Zelda and Link connection was cool. It was cool to see them interact like that in a way they never had before. So yeah, that's really my shtick on Skyward Sword. Now, number 9, I don't think this game has been said yet. So this here is The Legend of Zelda: Oracle of Seasons.
It's good.
Mm.
Heck yeah. Specifically Seasons, it was one of those things where when my cousin and I found out these games existed, I was like, oh my gosh, Zelda's doing the Pokemon thing. Like, this is so cool. We each can buy our own and then kind of play off of each other and see what the differences are. And it turns out this was, to me, even cooler because, in Pokemon, usually it's like, there's like three different types of Pokemon. It's really the only difference. But these were like completely different games. And I just remember specifically this game was so hard. Like it's kind of fetch quest mania, I feel like, is the critique of the game. Same thing with Link's Awakening, like a lot of fetch quest, but I really loved it in this game because I loved the wacky, weird characters you meet.
Yeah.
The time travel aspect. It just was so fun and weird. And like the final boss in Seasons was, I can't remember his name, but it was like a huge knight of some sort. And you end up going to a tower and fighting him. I can't remember the name. But yeah, it was just, honestly, there was somewhat of an interesting story too. Cause like the beginning of these games start out and everything's kind of peaceful. Like there's a little bit of a prologue. Like I think it was Seasons where you start out, everybody's dancing, there's music everywhere. And then it turns out Impa isn't really Impa. And it's a complete betrayal and it gets kind of crazy from there. So really cool games, fun dungeons in both Seasons and Ages. I do like in Ages how they take you to that island and take away everything. And you meet the crazy little blue guys. I can't remember what they're called. You kind of explore that civilization. That was cool. But for me, I was always the one with Seasons. So that's the one I'm going to pick here. But I want to shout those games out there. So good. Number 8 is Breath of the Wild. Joycey had hers at 8 as well, and kind of said, don't attack me, but I feel pretty good about Breath of the Wild being here. It's, I mean, it was higher before Tears of the Kingdom came out for sure, and I do want to separate them in terms of comparing them. Like when I'm evaluating them like this, they should exist on their own, but like in terms of, for me, a lot of this list was like, if I were to play these games today, what would I get the most out of, and what would I connect with the most? And if we're talking like the first hour to 3 hours of the game, Breath of the Wild would probably be number 1 on my list. But I think that, after the Great Plateau, again, it's number 8 on my list, so I really like it, but it just is a little empty for me in terms of what Tears of the Kingdom showed was a more vibrant, interactive world. And
I agree.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I can't forget that about Breath of the Wild. But again, such an amazing game. If I ever kind of like Prime was saying, with all the tough stuff that's been going on in his life, like going on the Great Plateau and walking around and just like seeing the old man just kind of doing different things. Like maybe he'll be lighting a fire in the forest there. Maybe he'll be cutting down a tree by his lodge. And I just think that what the Great Plateau does is so special that even though the rest of the game to me doesn't hold up as much as it did when I first played it, I think that it just sets a really beautiful foundation, and like just listening to the birds on the Great Plateau, the way it just kind of empowers you from the start it's so good. So that's number 8 for me. And then number 7, I had Link's Awakening. So like I said, I just remember like trying to play it on car trips or whatever, and like any single ray of sunlight coming in and totally making it so that I couldn't play the game. But I remember thinking it was so cool. And again, I'm a sucker for water. I'm a sucker for islands. Whenever Thunderstash talks about water graphics, I'm right there with you. And you know, Link's Awakening specifically here, it's not because of the water graphics. They are still cool, but I love games that take place just around water on an island.
Yeah.
Like I like it when it's present.
I like that too.
It just speaks to some kind of adventure. So just a little shipwreck scene in the beginning, just even that little bit did a lot for me at the time to be like, oh, this is crazy. This is so cool. Link stranded on an island, Castaway style.
Even in Zelda 1, like when you get the raft, that was like such a cool moment because now you can travel on water. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's something about just being able to, be around water. So this game was, just cool finding out how crazy the ending gets. And I thought the dungeons were really fun. And again, I enjoy the fetch quest aspect of these kind of older 2D Zelda games because it helped naturally introduce you to so many weird characters. And like whether it was the monkey on the beach or any of the other cool, weird, interesting characters in Link's Awakening, I just always enjoyed like trying to find out who I'm supposed to take what to next. It required a cool attention to detail that I just always valued. So on top of, like I said, I really like the weird stuff in like Majora's Mask. And so this was a funky game. It's like Chain Chomp. What's going on with that? What's up with these Mario things? Love this game. Love that they got weird and wacky, and also really love the remake too. I love that style and was glad to see that. It gave me hope for the Oracle games, to be honest. So we'll see if that comes to fruition. So number 6 is Twilight Princess. So this was a list that, again, is ever evolving. I think this could easily be like number 3 on my list if you ask me like in a week. Because, again, different Zelda games, different emotions today for whatever reason. Twilight Princess, when I made this list, wasn't at number 3. But tonight's number 6. So really love the game, though. I loved the contrast from Wind Waker to Twilight Princess. And like you said, Game Bird, too, I always loved seeing the different art styles as they evolved, too. And this was such a cool jump from Toon Link to this more kind of mature coming-of-age Link who, I don't know, kind of, like Joycey was saying, too, I love how he kind of was a figurehead in the village and kind of made Link feel more real and more like a little like hometown hero that's leaving his village and setting off on this quest. And on top of the wolf stuff, really fun. I love the final boss fight. Snow Peak Ruins is one of my favorite Zelda dungeons ever. Again, everyone mentioned the spin top too. The wolf was awesome. The Twilight stuff was really weirdly dark and depressing with the dead Hyrulean soldiers and just kind of how they're floating around. I don't know. This game's a cool one. Midna was awesome. And that's what I got for that. And at number 5, this is Ocarina of Time. So, I actually recently replayed this game, and it was just as fun as I remembered playing it. I probably replayed it 3 or 4 times now. Probably the last time I did it was high school or college. And it was just as fun as any of those other times. The camera stuff is obviously, I just don't find any of that to be a big deal. And part of that, I think, is because I grew up with it. So it's like, I have that, I'm fine with it. That's just a part of the process. It's a part of the charm. But I don't know, this everything about this game is just really special. And the second you hit Hyrule Field, and I'm forgetting the name of the owl right now, but once he talks to you, and it's a special kind of adventurous feeling that kind of hits you as a player there. And not too many games have really replicated that for me quite in that way. And even though Hyrule Field, yeah, there's not a lot going on. It's just kind of flat, and there's a couple trees and stuff. And at nighttime, obviously, it gets crazy.
It's Kapora Gabora. Love that name.
Kapora Gabora, yeah. That's right. Yeah, that's a great one, yeah.
Yeah.
Hyrule Field, just walking around that, you can feel the amount of to me at the time, and I still think even now, the depth of options of where you can go. And even though you can't access all these places, you can just see it all though. And you can see the mountain in the background, Death Mountain. You can see that in the background. And there's little cool aspects of what they do to kind of make you feel like there's always another adventure just kind of waiting ahead of you. And I don't know. Ocarina of Time is obviously a special game. Although the first time I played it, I remember getting stuck on the final boss fight because I didn't have enough magic or something. I can't remember how I got stuck, but somehow I didn't actually beat it the first time I played it. I'm not holding that against it here, but yeah, great game. Also, this game had some fun little mask quests too, even though it wasn't Majora's Mask. Like, it did have some fun little mask quests where again, you were meeting cool characters through the fetch quest system. So, heck yeah. Number 4, not number 1. Sorry, Joycey. A Link to the Past. Still a great game. Obviously, number 4 is pretty darn good. And I love this game. Again, me and my cousin would do the little speed running challenges between him and I. Like, we'd play it at the same time. Whether we were on the phone or like next to each other, we'd play it at the same time and just try to see who could beat it fastest. And yeah, we had this game down to a T. Like, it was so fun to go through it. And obviously, I think one of the greatest Zelda openings of all time. It's just so beautiful. And you meet your uncle. It's kind of like, oh wow, this is interesting. Like, Link has a family member finally, and then he's gone immediately. And just, it is kind of tragic. And I don't know. I love the adventure. Just even that beginning rainy adventure to the castle is such an iconic journey you go on as Link. But yeah, obviously great gameplay. The graphics still hold up. Like, this is such a beautiful looking game. And even to this day, it's so killer. So that's number 4 for me. And number 3 is Majora's Mask. This is a game that, again, I think depending on my particular mood or what's been happening, maybe how much tragedy I've experienced in any given week, this could easily swap with Ocarina of Time. I think overall, though, I would tend to put Majora's Mask over Ocarina of Time because I like how weird it is. And you guys have said it tonight too, like amazing side quests and just the best characters in any Zelda game in terms of just how you get to know them and how you kind of, I don't know, it really feels like there's an evolution where they're strangers, and then in a way they kind of become like a comfort to the impending moon. And it's just like they kind of become a community. And to weave that into a time mechanic and all of that taking place in this little town is just, I don't know, it's crazy. And it's really impressive. When you think about like people complaining about Legend ZA in that city and how there's no life there, but what they did with Majora's Mask and giving Clocktown like all of this life and just these characters that are full of interesting stories and tragedy and grief, like everybody's been talking about, on top of, again, another great beginning. Like, the opening cutscene from Majora's Mask is like, it's still like, I can picture it. It's still haunting. I remember, this could have been a nightmare. Maybe this didn't really happen, but because I played this as a kid. So it was like Skull Kid was terrifying. And I remember after Skull Kid and Link interact, there's a line of dialogue where Skull Kid is saying something. And if you just leave it on that line of dialogue, he'll just keep laughing that same laugh. And it's like, that is ingrained into my head. And it was terrifying as a kid, but I also was like, this is so cool. Also, one of my favorite soundtracks in Zelda, the Song of Healing. The first time I heard that,
good.
it's so good. Yeah, like when you first get into that area with the Happy Mask Salesman, and the Song of Healing is playing, is like, all right, you got to put the controller down moment. You know, it's just like, I got to listen to this because this makes me feel like an emotion that I can't even describe, you know, and that's a special thing. So yeah, Majora's Mask dungeons are fun too. Number 2, I kind of foreshadowed this one. The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker is, it'll always be a special game to me, no matter what. This one's, I mean, yeah, you can talk about the Triforce Quest and all that stuff where maybe it doesn't hold up in terms of valuing the player's time. But I don't know. To me, even the Triforce Quest, like, I could listen to the Great Sea theme all day. Like, that's one of those songs that I could just...
One of the best.
It really is, man. Like,
it's one of the best. Dude.
It's insane. Again, it kind of like the Song of Healing. Like, it evokes a different type of emotion, though, where it's like, I don't know, just like potential adventure. It's just like the perfect sound. Like the first time you hit the ocean, it's so good. But yeah, I really love this game. I think that Outside Island, probably besides the Great Plateau, is probably my favorite starting area in any Zelda game. I love that little spot. I love how you can swim off and just kind of explore a little bit. Not too far, obviously, but I just love the little village there. There's so many cool things you can interact with in that little town, little island. And obviously the creepy forest that's up top is also cool. Yeah, I thought that this was, again, it hit me at just the perfect time where it was like, I want to experience this adventure over and over and over again. And the amount of times I've replayed this game is pretty unreal. So, and along with that, my connection to growing up on an island. This will always be in my top 3. I can't imagine it slipping out. And then number 1, I want to give an honorable mention to Minish Cap. That was one that was a tough leave off. It was a real close call between Skyward Sword and Minish Cap, but yeah, just wanted to shout that out. So yeah, number 1, Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, it's just so good. I don't know. I told you guys the story about how, you know, I was joking a little bit about jeopardizing my relationship, but there were a couple times where where it got kind of feisty. But it was a game that literally, like, I must have had multiple days where I played over 12 hours. I'm like, I don't have that kind of time. I don't even know where I was finding that time. But I was finding it. It was happening somehow. I think just like playing it docked, taking it off, playing it, falling asleep, probably waking up again and playing it, like that sort of thing. Like, this game had me that way. Not too many games have ever had me just so hooked that I need to keep playing it. Like, I can't stop. There's always a cool new adventure to find. Love the characters that they added into this. Just so many good touches of bringing the world to life. The side quests were a lot more interesting than Breath of the Wild, I thought. I loved even just like having the little guys where you could build stuff for them, just scattered around. Like, those little touches that they added really, really gave this version of Hyrule a lot more life. On top of the final boss fight being really awesome. The actual boss fights, like Prime was saying, they added variety to them, which was something that you kind of hinted at, Game Bird. You know, the reskinning was something that I noticed, and I was like, man, one of my favorite things about Zelda is the unique bosses and how I kind of fight those and manage those. And yeah, the fights were different. You know, they weren't copy and paste actual fight mechanics, but I loved seeing the designs, just like you were talking about with the art style in general. I love to see the boss designs, and like in Twilight Princess, those are some of my favorite boss designs. And I'm glad that they brought that into Tears of the Kingdom, because I think that these boss designs were great, boss fights were interesting, and they tied into kind of the dungeon and the theme of it pretty well and interestingly. Yeah, the depths I loved. The Gleeoks coming back, that's a little thing, but that was such a cool little callback to some tough times on the NES. But yeah, that's really the definitive list here.
Oh yeah, dude.
It's a great list. A lot of
Thank you.
variety.
I love seeing on the last two lists Wind Waker up high. Makes me happy. It was, what did Geek have it at? She had it at 3, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Very
I think
cool.
something like that.
Yeah, I was glad to see that too.
All right, Stash or Gamebird, who wants to fight for it?
I think I need to go because I need to go. I need to like, go to bed.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, yeah.
'Cause I feel like shit.
Yeah, we're ending after the top 10s anyways.
Yeah,
I already made that
I
decision.
figured.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll just preface this by the way that this is a very hard list to do.
Absolutely.
It was
I
took me
wouldn't-
hours actually.
Yeah. I wouldn't do this on my channel. Like I wouldn't do this in a video. I've been asked to do this in a video like several times, and I'm like, no, I'm good.
The podcast special.
Yeah, it's podcast special. The thing is that I've played all of them, and like I truly love all of them. So to be like, okay, I have to exclude some, kind of sucks.
Mhm.
So
It
it
hurts.
just makes it
It
hard. Yeah.
does. Yeah, it really hurts.
Yeah. So with that said, the first one. So number 10 is the reason I'm wearing this shirt tonight.
There it is.
The Adventure of Link. I love this game so much.
Yes. Someone else has it top 10. I love
Of
it.
course. Yeah. Dude, I love this game for everything it is, and I love this game for all the reasons people hate it. Like I love it for those reasons even more, you know? Like the fact that it's really hard, it's cryptic, it's this, it's that. It's like, yeah, that's the Legend of Zelda, bro. Like if you grew up with it in the 80s, that's how it was. It was known to be very, very hard. And you have to like talk to people and find hints and make your own maps like we used to do back in the day, where you would draw your own maps on how to get around. So I adore that game. I love the music too. The great temple theme. Obviously the overworld theme, the town theme is excellent. Every time I play this game, I just have a ton of memories that I'm flooded with.
Mhm.
I do love the combat. The magic system is excellent, as mentioned before, and you have to use it. And I love that there's RPG elements in it. So a lot of great stuff there. Number 9. I'm going to go with Wind Waker. And again, love this game. When it was first revealed, most people were crapping on it. If you guys remember that, I was not one of those people. Because again, I literally said I trust Nintendo. You know, how many years ago was this? 24 years ago?
Oh
Yep.
my God, has it been that long?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's depressing.
Yeah, I know. But
That
I
is
still
really
trust
depressing.
Nintendo. So
That's a lot of shit in perspective.
I know, dude. It's hard to believe.
God.
Right? It was 24 or was it 23?
Yeah, it's 2002, so it's like
yeah.
24 at the end of the year.
24. Yeah. Yeah, that's wild. And again, I have really good memories of being on my own for the first time, first apartment, and playing this right after graduating. It was really cool. And also to be able to play it like on a brand new CRT. It was a CRT flat screen. That was the time we were in with the progressive scan. That was badass. And I had it on surround sound because it was, I can play it as loud as I want. It's my place. No one's going to tell me to turn it down. So little things like that just made it really special. And of course, with Wind Waker, the Great Sea theme, you'll hear it in a lot of my videos as background music because I absolutely adore it. It's excellent. So there's so many things I love about it. Number 8, I'm going to go with Link's Awakening. And look, I was there for the original in 93. I was there day 1 for DX for Game Boy Color. And of course, there day 1 for the remake. And so, yeah, I played 3 iterations of it. Loved it every time. It's tough because I could have put the Oracle games in there too because I love them. And again, you guys know I have those sealed. Oracle of Ages and Seasons factory sealed because I bought them in high school. They're sealed. And then I bought another set to actually play. And again, like I adore these games. There's elements of the Oracle games I like more than Link's Awakening. But ultimately, Link's Awakening, I think, excels with like things like the music and the charm. Yeah. It's just got a lot of charm to it. But Aegis has really good combat and puzzles and seasons, so it's tough. But again, you can't put every game on here. Number 7, Skyward Sword. The dungeons. Love them. And again, I have memories attached to this. As an adult, to get time off like that is it's just not something that's going to happen where you get a runway like that to actually play a game from beginning to end unbothered by anyone. You're recovering from surgery. People shouldn't be blowing your phone up. They know that. You literally get peace and quiet. No stress. Nothing to worry about. All you got to do is take care of yourself and enjoy the experience and rest when you're recovering. And so that was a really special moment because I didn't think I was going to get that gift. And I kind of look at it as a gift. I didn't think I was going to get that chance. And most people probably would not look at recovering from surgery as a gift, but it really felt that way. Number 6 is Twilight Princess. Love this game. I mean, I think I really just love everything about it. It could be higher. It really could. I remember, obviously, when we had the Space World demo, and it was the realistic Zelda, and then, of course, we got Wind Waker, and people were upset. But then after that, it was E3 2005, when Reggie was on stage. It was at the end of the conference. And he said, and we have one more world we want to show you. Take a glimpse into. And, the lighting fades. And the music hits. And that was when the classic IGN scene with, I think Pierre Schneider and I think Matt Casamassina, some of those guys were, crying in the crowd because they were so excited. That's the reaction meme. That was just so special. And then the next year at E3 2006, they showed the full trailer, and it had such a great mix on there. The music on it was awesome. And that was when they handed out the GameCube disc, right? With the preview on there. Or was it the DS? Do you guys remember that? At E3, they handed out either it was the GameCube
I feel like it was
with the trailer
DS,
or the DS. I forget. It was so odd though.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I think
but it
I
was
feel like
really
this-
cool.
Yes. Yeah.
And then, of course, I remember saying this back then before it, and again, this was before it was even announced. I remember telling everyone that to not buy a GameCube right now. Wait and buy a Wii, because I bet you anything Twilight Princess will be a launch title and it will launch on both GameCube and Wii. They're like, no way. Why? That would never happen. I'm like, watch, it's going to happen. Sure as shit it did. And then that became the thing that they've consistently done ever since, right? Number 5, I'm going to go Breath of the Wild. Again, first open world Zelda. I think I've shown you guys my map that I have that I printed out
Yeah, that's sick.
at Kinko's or whatever. Kinko's Copies or FedEx. I forget which one it was. But yeah, that was really fun to use that map and just go through the game old school. And again, this game just has like that Zelda 1 feeling of open worldness where you actually do need to kind of make a map, make sure you hit all those shrines. But love that game. But I love Tears of the Kingdom more, which is number 4. Because again, it's the same. It's the same engine. It's bigger, but it's bigger and it's better, and there's more to do. So that's kind of easy one when it comes to those two. Number 3 is The Legend of Zelda for NES. And look, I've went back and replayed this. I did a video on my channel. Actually, I played the unofficial Super Nintendo port of Zelda 1 on my analog Super NT in HD. It was totally badass, and it had a fully orchestrated soundtrack added to the game. It's like, dude, no better way to experience Zelda 1. And they used the overworld theme from the Legend of Zelda cartoon in the game. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the overworld theme or like the heroic theme from the Zelda cartoon. It's really good. Like, really good. They put it in the game, and that's the overworld theme. I'm like, holy shit, this is so cool. So, love that. And look, one thing that people don't talk about with this game, you could literally play this game like every year. And you're only going to spend X amount of hours. This is a game you can revisit like the rest of your life and play through it. And there's something to be said for that, because a lot of these other games are massive and you cannot do that. But I could literally spend half a day and beat Zelda right now.
Mhm.
I can beat it quick. And some of these games, like I look at on my list, like, man, I haven't revisited these in a long time because I don't have time to do it. But I do for some of these other Zelda games, like Zelda 1. And honestly, I still think everything holds up excellent.
Yeah, it does.
I adore that game. Number 2 is Link to the Past. I've said this a million times. My 1 and 2 are really tough because my favorite 2D Zelda is A Link to the Past. And I played it, I think like 2 years ago. And I played the unreleased Super Nintendo CD version. And it has like 130 fully orchestrated tracks in the game. So all the music is fully orchestrated. And it did a couple other quality of life things to it that you don't even notice, but when you read about it and then you see it, like you appreciate it. But playing that game with a fully orchestrated soundtrack on the analog Super NT, so it's in full HD, upscaled, and then playing it on surround sound, and I played it on my 130-inch projector. That was badass. Like that's as close as it can get to like re-experiencing a game again. You know, like at a later age, even though I've played it so many times, it felt like almost like the first time again when you factor all those things in. So that was quite special. And again, that game is aged like a fine wine. It's aged like, 80s and 90s Disney animation. The art style is just beautiful. And seeing it in HD today is just, it's never going to go out of style. The light and dark world. I mean, there's just so much brilliance to this game, dude. So much. And Joycey touched on a lot of that too. And I agree with everything she said. But my number one is Ocarina of Time. And again, those two could be interchanged easily, but they're not. I always keep Ocarina of Time the first, and I'll never forget picking up my gold cartridge, the collector's edition, and taking that home and popping it in for the first time and experiencing the shift from 2D to 3D. I'll never forget that. I can like literally envision everything. Where I was sitting in front of the TV, experiencing it for the first time, seeing. I remember, I'm sure you guys did this too, but when you first turn it on, you just let the video play.
The title screen.
The title screen
The
intro.
music, yeah.
Yeah, and it has a few
Absolutely.
different variations to it. I think there's like 4.
Yep. That and Wind Waker, I let those run for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, you just gotta let it run because it's like the moment's finally here. We're finally doing this. It's been so many years from Link to the Past, and the hype was just absolutely insane. It was just such a special moment. Everything about that game hit for me. Everything. It, like with Link to the Past, we had the light and dark world, and of course with Green of Time, you had the time travel, which you guys all know. I always talk about how much I love time travel. From TV shows, movies, video games. If it's got time travel, man, I'm hyped. I love that element. And then for you to put it in my favorite IP, my favorite game, I'm like, this is perfect. Yeah. So obviously, I really want the Ocarina of Time remake. We all know that. We've all talked about it here. But this game's just very special for me. I was in 8th grade. Was 13 years old. It was a fun time. That's a fun age, right? It was the Attitude Era. Monday Night Raw. Never missed an episode. We all used to watch wrestling a ton back in the day. During that time, it was a good time. And staying home from school for a week, and my brother John was staying with us during that time, so he watched me play. And again, he was the one who watched me beat Zelda 1. It was just such a great memory. So that's my list. That's my top 10. And look, I want to give honorable mention definitely to Majora's Mask. That's not a title I expected to not make it into it, but again, it's tough. It's tough to get them all in there. The Majora's,
yeah, it is.
Majora's Mask and what do you call it? The Oracle games. I would have liked to have gotten those in. I'm okay with the DS games being outside of that. And the other one I would have really liked to get in, and I had it in there, and I'm like, I want to put Zelda 2 in there because I really love that game, but it was A Link Between Worlds. I really wanted to get that into the top 10. That and Majora's Mask caught some strays. That wasn't intended. It was just more or less like, yeah, I feel handcuffed with these other titles. I really can't move the other ones. Like, this sucks. This is why I don't make a video. Just too much planning. It's too much. It's just shit, man. They're all amazing. except for the CDI games. Those aren't real. All right, look, I have to go. I want to hear more, but I gotta get
You're good,
sleep.
man.
I think I got a fever.
No, you're good.
No,
dude.
all good.
Your thing.
You guys know where to find me. Thunderstash Gaming, YouTube. And then I have a review already scheduled. It's already uploaded to YouTube. It's going up on Friday. You'll see what it is. And then I have a review that should go up tomorrow as long as I don't feel like absolute hell in the morning. I just have to put my B-roll footage together, but the reviews record it. And then Demon Tides. Almost done with that game. That comes out tomorrow. It's a long game. Are you guys familiar with this? Demon Tides?
I'm not. No.
I picked
Check
it up.
it out.
I picked it up in our league.
Yeah, the inspiration is Mario and Zelda.
Yeah.
And again, have we ever really seen a game that says, hey, that's set out to be like, I want to take all the great things about Mario and Zelda and mash it up?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's bold in that sense for sure, but I have a great time with it. So that's coming up,
Sweet.
and then there's so many more. The list is long of what's coming up. What's crazy is I was talking to Michaela about it. This is the shortest month, obviously February, and I feel like I might publish the most reviews this month of any month ever.
There you go.
Yeah, it's nuts.
That
But I got
be why you're getting sick because you're not sleeping.
Of course, exactly. That's probably why. Yeah, I'm not getting much sleep. 'Cause I'm trying to, I gotta beat last year's total.
Right.
All right, guys. Thank you. Have a good night.
Yeah, later.
Feel better, man.
Yeah.
Thanks,
you
man.
too. Hope you feel better.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Good night.
See you, man.
All right.
Greenberg, go for it.
Yeah. I'm going to go through mine quick. I'm not going to do a big story for all of them. I have a couple bullet points for each game. Number 10 for me is the original Legend of Zelda. This was my first video game of all time. I think this game has great dungeons, great bosses. It's filled with secrets and exploration, and I think it really set the bar for adventure games in general. Number 9, Skyward Sword. I really love this game. It's one that I think is deeply flawed in a lot of ways, but some bullet points that I really love about it is it's a Metroidvania Zelda game, which is really, really neat. It heavily focuses on story. Girahim is one of the best villains in the series. I think it has some of the best dungeons in the entire series. The Ancient Cistern, especially, I think is my personal favorite dungeon of all time. Blah, 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 what was I going to say? Last thing. Anyways, I don't want to take up too much time. Amazing dungeons. Oh yeah, there's no torch lighting puzzles or block pushing puzzles in the game. All the puzzles in these dungeons were very original. Next up, number 8, Twilight Princess. This is a game that when Twilight Princess came out, I was bummed out on it. I was not that hyped. For me, it felt like a huge step down from Wind Waker, but it's a game that's grown on me a lot over the years. And while there's still a lot of things I really don't like about this game, some of the highlights is it has some of the best bosses in the whole series. I love the dual hook shot or dual claw shot and the spin top are two of the greatest items in the series. Some very memorable Ganondorf moments, and I really liked the horseback combat.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. Number 7, Link's Awakening. I just adore this game. I had so much fun playing this on my Game Boy Color when I was a kid. I love how quirky it was, how it incorporated enemies from Mario like Chain Chomp and Goombas. And I think the dream concept in the moral dilemma in this game was amazing. It was kind of like the save the world versus like erasing the world. And it was just very, very awesome. The Eagle Tower, especially, I think is such a cool and challenging dungeon. Number 6, A Link Between Worlds. I think the paint style merging with the wall was just a brilliant mechanic. I think it made puzzles and exploration that much more unique and exciting. I think the ending of the game was fantastic. It had a nice twist to it, and it was a really cool modern take on A Link to the Past that didn't really just copy it, but really expanded on everything that A Link to the Past did. Great ending, great music. There's like acoustic in like the overworld theme. I think is really cool. Number 5, Tears of the Kingdom. I feel like Tears of the Kingdom, it feels like they took the vision behind Breath of the Wild and fully realized it. They fully realized that open air concept. I think the scope is insane between the Sky Islands, Hyrule, and the depths. I think there's just endless imagination with the fusion system. Ascend is GOAT. It's a GOAT ability, period. And what an incredible start, just how cinematic, and it just throws you into like shit hitting the fan immediately. Just a really wild way to start it. And lastly, on Tears of the Kingdom, that journey to the Wind Temple is one of the most memorable moments in a Zelda game for me. It was like Zelda turned Mario and was just this epic journey up to the clouds to this temple that was just so memorable. Real quick. Numbers 2, 3, and 4 are interchangeable on any given day. Because these 3 games, it's a triple tie. I had to force myself into 3 separate numbers, but these are a triple tie that these games are so important to me. They're all 10 out of 10 games for me. But I just went with my gut on this one, but again, it could change tomorrow. Number 4, Majora's Mask. It's the darkest and moodiest entry in the whole series. I think the time control mechanic in it was absolutely brilliant with the 3-day Groundhog's Day style system. Way ahead of its time. Best side quests in the series. NPCs were on a schedule. They were the first time I ever really truly cared about NPCs in the Zelda game. Fierce Deity Link, so cool, wanted more of it. And secrets galore in this game, like all the different masks, all the different things that were there to discover, was just what an experience. There's so much more if we had more time that I'd love to say about this entry in particular. The last thing I'll end to introduce one of my favorite characters of the entire Zelda series. I know Nate's a fan of this one, Tingle. I know a lot of people laugh when I say it or when Nate says it, but I truly love the character. It's not just a joke character to me. I hope he makes a triumphant return in a future entry. He's just that good. Like Nate said, play the Tingle games. Tingle freaking rules. Number 3, this was so difficult to put in the number 3 spot because this game is a 10 out of 10 masterpiece. It's a perfect Legend of Zelda game, period. That's A Link to the Past, my friends. The light world, dark world, the amazing items, the incredible music in this game, the incredible dungeons, the memorable bosses, and just an unbelievable open world design in the 16-bit era. That's just like, this game's flawless. You could re-release this game today with just HD 2D. I mean, you could keep the graphics of the game stunning, but re-release it in HD 2D with a fully orchestrated soundtrack. It's a masterpiece still. Number 2, Ocarina of Time. Listen, this game is so special. Some of the best music in the entire series, in my opinion. So many memorable tracks, introducing time travel, switching between young Link and adult Link. So freaking cool. Seeing the changes between the future and the past. It's a perfect hero's journey story. It has some of the best dungeons in the series. The Forest Temple, for me, is easily one of my favorites. I also love the Spirit Temple, introducing the Mirror Shield where you can reflect light to solve puzzles. Some of the bosses are just so incredible and so iconic. And I just really love the rags to riches feelings of starting off as a child and growing up and just being this like hero with all these tools under your belt. Just really cool. Ocarina of Time. There's so much to say. Again, I'm powering through these compared to everyone else. But if we ever talk to Zelda again about our favorite games, I would love to go into more detail. Number one, you guys all know my favorite, Wind Waker. It's my favorite Zelda of all time. This one I'm going to spend a little bit more time on just because, I want to get into some of the reasons why this game means so much to me. I think it's the most timeless art style of the series. I think this game is stunning. It's absolutely beautiful. And when it came out, to me, it felt so. I know a lot of people knocked it for not having a mature look, but it just felt so next gen and advanced to me compared to anything else that was out at the time. It's my favorite Link in the series, the most expressive, the most animated. I think it's the best combat in a Zelda game. Yes, the combat was easy, but it was thrilling. It introduced an incredible quick time parry system that against certain enemies, like the Dark Nuts, you'd roll around them and you had to parry to remove the armor from the enemy so that you could actually cause them damage. Really cool stuff like that. You were able to use your grapple to pull items from enemies, and you were able to train to learn that spin that went on for like 2 minutes long. Just such a cool combat system that made me feel like a badass when I was playing. It also felt like the first true open world Zelda game, setting sail, seeing just like the horizon, that feeling of I can go anywhere. Was just really epic. It introduced 2 new races to the series that have become iconic staples, both the Koroks and the Rito, which are fan favorite staples of the series. I think it has, I mentioned this when Geek was here earlier, it has one of, in my opinion, probably the second best story of the entire series. If you really dig into the characters and their stories and the lore of this game, it is heavy, it is tragic. And Ganondorf, it's my most favorite version of him. Very sad and nostalgic, but a morally gray. He's more like a Magneto than like I'm just evil and I want to destroy everything. And I really appreciate that. Again, Tingle, Return to Tingle. Gotta love the Tingle. Great sea song that was mentioned. The Big Octo. I'll never forget sailing, minding my own business, and the Big Octo just launches out of the ocean. And it's an epic open world boss out of nowhere firing cannons from the King of Red Lions. Such an epic moment. A lot of these moments you don't hear people talk about when they talk about Wind Waker, but these are things that made this game so special. Another one that was just really cool to me, the Forsaken Fortress. I love how your sister goes missing. You sail for the fortress. It becomes a stealth game, hiding in barrels, scaling walls. You make your way to the top and you lose and you get thrown out of that place, and you have to build your skill set and meet new friends along the way before you're finally ready to make that attempt to go back and save your sister. Ganondorf has scenes throughout the title. You feel the villain antagonizing you. Yeah, I just love this game. I love the sploosh battleship guy. It's it introduced Beetle, another great character. I love this game. I love the Celtic music. And yeah, that's my list, guys.
Did you know Breath of the Wild on there? Is that?
There's no Breath of the Wild on my top 10. And real quick, I'll give a reason for that, because I know that's divisive. When Breath of the Wild came out, I loved it. I thought it was the greatest thing ever. In hindsight now, going back to it, I feel like I was able to take off the rose-tinted glasses. I really feel Breath of the Wild is the most important game of the last generation. And what that game has done for open world games and exploration is unbelievable. And this game is going to be important for years and years to come. I also think the game has the best tutorial. I think the Great Plateau is peak. I can't think of a better tutorial in any game, period. That being said, there's just so many elements of the game that fall flat when I look back or when I try and go back. For me, it has the worst villain in the series. Calamity Gallons is boring. It's a storm. I mean, they describe it's a storm. There's like no interesting motive or anything. And yeah, you might like, oh, I just like that it's a storm of hate. Cool. If the main villain of Zelda is an earthquake, you know, unless we stabilize the crust, I don't know. Just not that I don't know. Just not that exciting. The music is the least memorable in the entire series. How many songs can you hum from that game? You know what I mean? I think the champions are just not that interesting. They feel very tropey, cliche characters. I think the divine beasts are terrible. They're just not good replacements for dungeons. I think the bosses were very weak in that game, bar a couple. A lot of them were reskins. I don't like the weapon breaking system. I think that was a bummer. I would have felt better about it if the Master Sword was the perfect weapon. But since the Master Sword would end up on a cooldown for 10 minutes after you do a fight or two, really bummed me out. And I don't know. There's just something a little bit sterile. I think the story's weak in it, and I really appreciate what it does, and without it we wouldn't have Tears of the Kingdom. But ultimately my final feelings on Breath of the Wild is Breath of the Wild feels like this insane proof of concept that was brilliant, and Tears of the Kingdom feels like the game that they took the proof of concept and they built a feature-rich substantive game out of it with more interesting dungeons, way better bosses, and more interesting and more compelling storyline. And yeah, I don't know. I juggled Breath of the Wild in the 10 spot with the OG Legend of Zelda, but at the end of the day, I don't know. It just didn't quite make the cut. So I still love the game.
And this is why we're not best friends. All right.
Wait, we're not?
That's what it is, man.
All right.
That's news to me.
I'll run through mine. I'll run through mine real quick.
Just ripped his nipples off there. He's
Right.
like, what the fuck just happened? All right. Yeah, Eric, run through yours quick.
I only have 7 because
I played
that's
7.
pretty much the only games that I've played. And yeah, so this one, number 7, could move up. I have to go back and play it again. I never really understood the concept when I was playing it to begin with. But now that I've played more of the other game, I understand it. That's Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. All right, and then after
Like
that,
the spin-offs on here, baby. Let's
Yep.
go.
Oh yeah, because I haven't played a whole lot of the main lines. After that is Triforce Heroes. I liked being able to pick people up and throw them off the map, and then taunt them.
That game is so fun.
Then at 5, Echoes of Wisdom. I've been having a lot of. I haven't quite finished that one yet, but I was having a lot of fun when I was playing it. Number 3. Sorry, Jesus, I don't know what the hell number I'm on. Number 3, the game I'm currently playing and almost done with is Age of Imprisonment again, which now lead me back to Age of Calamity, which I now understand how it works. Number 2, Breath of the Wild, and number 1, Tears of the Kingdom. Done.
All right, there we go. It's funny. Tulsa's like, most of these are titles Nate tomorrow. No. Only Triforce Heroes. And that was, he was helping me with a walkthrough back in the day on Zelda Informer. All the rest of that stuff, I didn't borrow him those games. He owns Breath of the Wild. He owns Tears of the Kingdom. He owns Age of Calamity. He owns Age of Imprisonment. He owns that stuff. He bought that on his own.
Mhm.
Don't be saying,
I technically have bought Skyward Sword too.
I
but
can borrow
haven't
him
played it.
games. I can borrow him Link's Awakening. I have other Zelda games on my. I can borrow him if he wants. He's just never asked.
Yeah.
So
I've technically bought Skyward Sword, but I haven't played it.
you'll get around to it someday.
I'll get around to
maybe.
it eventually. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.